You're watching SuckProfessor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by
James.
James. Hey, everybody. Happy 2021. It's the new year. Time for new beginnings. James, what are your new beginnings in 2021?
I'm going to become an old hunter. I'm taking classes to be a tomb prospector. It's going pretty well.
That's why you're constantly digging holes into the ground and pulling up Beetlejuice style stuff from the model that we live upon. Hi, guys. Bloodborne. James and I are going to get all up in it. James, we're talking Bloodborne. By the end of this episode, we can open a woman's health clinic. That's how bloody shit's going to get around here. I probably shouldn't put that joke. That's not, maybe that's not. I don't mean, I was going to say something about abortion. Oh,
Well, I mean, that's a part of the game. The game is about that,
yes.
kind of.
It certainly does touch on lots of adult themes.
There are a lot of babies that don't make it in Bloodborne.
It is. This is going to be a bit of a journey, everybody. Just to let you know, we're doing a podcast with videos, and as we've been playing Bloodborne, as well as a review and a discussion and a video clip parade of the game as we've been playing it. I've been playing Bloodborne on PS5 since like December or something or whatever. Really logging a lot of hours. James has been there most virtually the whole way. We kind of do it as a pilot co-pilot scenario, although we're not handing off the controller because that's awkward. I've been on the controller, but James has been helping with decisions and remembering stuff and keeping my dumbass on track. So, is that about right, James? That's how we've been playing this game?
Oh, yeah. I
And
have never actually touched a controller and even done so much as taken a step in this game.
not even a step, except for the emotional weightlifting you do to keep me sane. So thank you for that. And James, you've been playing Demon Souls on
Oh, yeah.
PS5.
Quite a bit.
Looks amazing. And so this is Bloodborne, though, and we have a ton of clips, a whole bunch. We might have to do this in two parts. There's so many, but it might not be perfectly produced. We don't have a whole big plan here, but the clips do kind of chronologically follow our playthrough, sort of. Not that we were thinking too much about all of it, so it's going to be a lot of jumping around. Big spoilers, obviously, big spoilers. So everybody, if you care or whatever, the game is 5 years old. What, James? When did Bloodborne come out?
I think you're right, about 5 years ago. It
Yeah.
was a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Now we're playing it on the PS5
So
because it's a PlayStation Plus free game. We just bought the DLC to go with it.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, I come down and James goes, "Hey, look, I got Bloodborne. I'd like to watch you play." And I go, "No, I'm busy. I got to work on my stupid other projects." And then you go, "Oh, just make a character." And I go, "I like making characters." And then many hundreds of hours later, here we are. So James hooked me in, got me addicted to Bloodborne. And it's been a fun game. What an amazing game! I'll just say. So before we get to the clips, just a kind of a quick review ish sort of I had heard of it. I had played Dark Souls mostly and a lot of Dark Souls 3. I never finished any of those, they're too hard. But I knew of this genre and loved it, and I knew Bloodborne was like often mentioned amongst those other titles, and it was like, wow, this is a good game. So I wasn't like, I had some expectations that it would be a fun game. Wasn't sure how the environment, how they present it or what the artwork or the world was going to be all about. I figured it'd be Dark Souls-ish, and it certainly qualifies as that. And I could just say, after having now played it, we have not yet gotten to the full ending, although where we are in real time here in January 2021, the year of our Lord, we are very close to the very ending. Like, we're just doing chalices, basically, the chalice dungeons and stuff. But man, what an amazing game. What an amazing world. What an amazing combat system. You could quibble with some things, like inventory management could be maybe a little weird, whatever here and there. But the whole feeling of just pick a direction and just go until you get your ass kicked and you can't go any further is very prominent in this game. And it's very much a Bloodborne game. Excuse me, a Dark Souls game. In my heart is what I mean. Like, I've seen some lists where people talk about which is the best of these games of the Souls genre, and Bloodborne's usually near the top. And I agree. I think it belongs in the top 3. James, you talk now.
I mean, I enjoy the game. I think the strongest part of the game is the atmosphere, the Lovecraftian kind of art style, and the world you're in, and the characters you meet, and the audio itself is really something that shines. It really has these like background foreboding sounds that really enrich the atmosphere that you're in. But aside from that, I wouldn't rank it very high personally, even though I know that this game is sacred to many, 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 many people, and this is not going to be a popular viewpoint, but I have to say it because it's my viewpoint,
Say it.
is that these kind of games, my play style, my personal play style is playing fully ranged. And this game does not, at least as far as I understand it, accommodate that play style whatsoever. And people are going to say, "Whoa, no, you're wrong. There's guns in there. There's quicksilver bullets." But when I say ranged, I mean pure ranged, 100% ranged. You're not going to get very far running around with 20 bullets if you're using ranged for everything. The
Right.
game forces you into melee. I personally find playing melee based games a snooze fest. I like watching it, but playing it is not enjoyable for me whatsoever.
Not a big
So I
UFC
was
guy. Yeah.
yeah, so I was a bit disappointed in this game when I found out that even like the arcane path of styles consumed quicksilver. Everything is based around bullets if you're trying to do ranged, which
Right.
is a very limiting factor. But having said that, the only other thing I can dock it for is the story is interesting, but it doesn't really present itself well. And I'm going to get this guy's name wrong. I think Miyazaki. Does that sound right?
Probably.
People will say that's his style. That's how he does things. He's very sparing in how he describes things. He doesn't spoon feed things to you. But it gets to the point where if you want to know anything about this game to any layer of depth, you have to go and look at fan fiction and fan theories and piece things together online to get an idea and read little tooltips in the loading screens and things. It's hard to say. Does that make the experience better, or could that be conceived as being kind of lazy? It'd be the same thing to say, oh well, David Lynch doesn't explain anything, therefore he's crap. Other people will say, no, it's art. So it's really up to your personal opinion. I wanted to know more about the story, and I had to work harder than I expected to have to
Yes.
work to fill in the gaps to understand what the heck was even going on.
Right. I know you've been more intrigued by the story than I have. I tend to have a Swiss cheese brain when it comes to the plotting and stories, as regular viewers of SuckProfessor probably can tell from our Game of Thrones and our other our Westworld reviews. I forget that characters even existed and stuff. So for the way I weight my enjoyment, I definitely don't share that part. Not to say that you're wrong or I'm right or whatever. I'm not saying that at all. Although I am right. Joking again, of course. No, but like, and also the melee thing doesn't bother me as much as well. But I absolutely understand why that's a valid critique of this game, for because the Quicksilver is just sort of that's what they call bullets, but it's just sort of the mana if you're going to do archer or if you're going to be a ranged at all do ranged magic tricks or magic stuff with arcane. But it forces it's such a low amount. You either have to keep finding more or you just do melee. There's really no
Oh, right.
getting away from being melee dominant.
Or
Almost
convert your health into more ranged abilities, but that's
that's another yeah exactly. It lets you have some ranged powers, but it definitely is a melee dominant. And compared to Dark Souls, the combat is more jumpy. Like you jump in a good way. I meaning like it's more kinetic, a little more parkour. Like you kind of
yeah,
dodge around and you can do really well timed things, and it's challenging. You get killed
yeah.
a lot, and
It
it's
does
frustrating in a good
doesn't
way.
seem to be shield based though. There are two shields that we know of, but it's
Yes,
not a really sword and shield type of game.
no, not at all. If anything, I'd say the gun is almost like the equivalent of parry in Dark Souls or Demon Souls or whatever, where you use the gun at an opportune moment during the opponent's mid swinging animation, and then you knock them senseless into their viscera into their what do you call that stretch
Stagger
stagger.
or
I was
stun. Yeah.
calling Strider. I was like, wow, Lord of the Rings. Into their staggered pose, and then you can do your visceral attack. So it sort of functions as a parry, is what I mean. So yeah, it's not a shield and sword type of fighting system at all. It's dodging and attacking and stuff like that. And that's exactly how I shop. I'm banned from 14 different Victoria's Secrets throughout the Midwest. So it's this was why it resonated so well for me. And James, being a ranged guy, you should see this dude at the food court at the mall. Cinnabons flying everywhere. Just launching missiles of French fries. It's impressive. It's amazing. So,
Oh,
eh,
one other thing that kind of sets us apart is that there doesn't appear to be class related armor. Other
Oh,
Souls games,
yeah.
you say this is a lightweight armor. I've got my equip burden. I've got my, I can only carry but so much stuff until I'm moving so slowly I can barely even roll. That's not really a thing in this game. You can equip any suit of armor. It doesn't tend, at least I haven't noticed that it affects your speed, your versatility, your roll speed, your stamina usage, or anything like that. There is no real heavy armor in this game as far as I can tell.
Yeah, the durability, maybe we'll talk about that more because we probably will have some armor, to screens or something to pause on. So, because we got to get to the clips, but it doesn't have a weight system. So you can carry as much of everything as possible. And um, there's also a way to store it too. So it's not cluttering up your inventory too much. But yeah, unlike other games, it doesn't, you don't get slowed down the more you carry and stuff. And you're absolutely right. It doesn't differentiate based on class in that sense. You differentiate your class. There's like starting classes you choose during the character creation, but then there's basically just how you level up your skills, which one you focus on, which is its own kind of strategy that needs to be thoughtfully done, or else you screw it all up, like I almost did. Right? Good.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say before we jump at the thing?
No, I think most of what else is going to come out will come out. What's
Yeah.
the word? Organically as the clips play
Agreed.
and as thoughts are triggered. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, let's trigger some thoughts. Here we go. By the way, so just the process for these are, again, we didn't do any like, let's get this part for the video and this part for the video. There's nothing like that. It's occasionally it's in our mind that we might have eventually done this podcast, but it's not. So it's going to be very random. I don't know. I'm just trying to explain that we don't have anything from the character creation menu here at all. So, and James, you're seeing it on your screen. Everything looks good.
I am.
Cool. So this is the when you beat somebody, you get these trophies, right? So this is just the cleric beast. It's like one of the first monsters I beat. So I get a trophy for that.
We should say boss.
What did I say?
The first monster.
Oh yeah. Not every monster gives you a trophy. Yeah. So this is just like my guy. That's the dude. Looking good. Let me reset that. So yeah, we'll jump through these pretty quickly. I don't know why we got screenshots of all this right there. Here is a fight. Now, hold on, James, if we have to reset, actually, I want to make a clapping sound here, just in case this isn't going to get into the video, because our first audio here. All right, let's just go with it. We'll just have to see what happens. Some of these are also duplicates, which is weird, so that'll be a thing. All right, so here we go. Yes! So that's the killing of the guy. Hell yeah. I love the big bloody splash. Cool. James, got anything to say?
No, I do like the bloody splash, but I like the blood rain that comes afterwards.
Oh yeah, now it rains. Okay, so the reason it recorded that clip was because that's one of the trophy earnings. So that's not something that's not that interesting. Here's another one, Father Gasquion. He's like an early character you meet who's got like a daughter. She's like in a window, and his wife is dead on a roof somewhere. So the guy's got a tough going. But he becomes a boss. Father Gasquion. Let's just check out this fight. This is a 30-second clip. Yeah. It was some girl's dad we just slaughtered. So
the thing about him, though, is that he is also a hunter,
Mhm.
and he went through blood ministration as well, and he actually transforms into a beast, whereas your character, for some reason I've yet to understand, does not.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Because at the very beginning of the game, when you get the blood transfusion in Iosefka's clinic, you have a wolf crawl out of blood who attempts to take you over, but before it touches you, it bursts into flames and retreats back into the shadows. And then the messengers come out and take hold of you. So it's almost as though they saved you from the same fate that he had. But that part is a little unclear to me.
Right. Yeah. And before we go too far, I should summarize the story. So it's about a guy who has a knife and a gun, and a whole bunch of people are trying to kill him no matter where he goes. He is a newbie hunter, and he gets orders from a doll and an old man in a wheelchair who live on a floating island with a mansion on it that also has a bunch of freaks living nearby that sell you goods and services. You go through the world of churches and big steeples, and there's a weird bug alien monster horde race of something that is living on the buildings, and they turn you into a maniac sometimes. and there's some fish guys, and that's it. That's the plot.
And
So,
it's all within a dream.
yeah, and it's all been a dream.
And part of it a nightmare.
Indeed, indeed. So here's a chest opening. What is this here? We just blood gem. So this is our first blood gem, which this is worth talking about because blood gems are how you upgrade your weapons, and you can add power boosts. What do you call those, buffs to your weapons that are pretty cool. So over time, your character builds up based on that. What is this here? Let's just hit this one. Oh, same thing. Okay, so sorry. It gives us the screenshot and then the video. Yes, such a powerful blood gem, which is probably like raises something by 0.2% or something. It's useless. Yeah. So I'm not going to comment on every damn video here that we see. Here's another one. This is a fight. This is a 60-second clip. Or it's actually, I don't know, whatever it is, but we'll just let this one play. This is a bit more that this one features a little bit more of the combat dynamics. Those birds are so horrifying. The audio of the birds is terrible. Let me just play it one more time. Backed up a little bit. Yeah, jerk. Oh, yeah. That's why we saved it. So the guy dies on top of the bird. Hold on. And then the bird takes off. So now here we go. Ready? The bird flies up. Pushes the dude's body. That's all. And then I murdered the bird because I was hungry. Yeah, so that one was fun. That was cool. Any thoughts, James?
It is kind of funny how when something dies, no matter how large it is, it becomes virtually weightless.
Yeah,
which allows for things like that. And the other thing I would mention is that particular creature, not exactly that one, but the same type of creature, was one of the larger things you encountered at first. In the early part of the game, you can hear something banging against a door. And only once you get around another part of the map, you can see it's one of those with the big cinder block banging into the door. So initially we thought, wow, that must be a boss. And soon you come to realize that there's such a rich variety of enemies in this game that something like this is not a mini boss or a boss. This is normal cannon fodder.
Yes, very well said. Go ahead.
And even when you get to a point where you feel like you can readily dispatch them, if you make a misstep and it gets into a combo, it will take you out. You have to be careful at all times.
Indeed. Yeah, that's the thing is you start to get confident. This game uses your own confidence against you because you do get better and you get stronger and you get a little bit more confident, and then you just think that you got something, and then the game will let you know, oh no, you don't. You just got murdered by a bunch of crows, and you're 70 hours into the game that you're an expert at. Now a bunch of crows just killed you, you stupid idiot. But yeah, this big guy is one of those creature things where you like, oh my god, and then the variety is incredible, as he so eloquently said. Cool. Next one, Prey Slaughtered. I don't know. So here's where we fight with. So a lot of these initial ones I think are just recordings from when we didn't know we could save stuff. So this is where we had help from Henriette, who, let's explain that a little bit. You're allowed to call up non-player character buddies to help you out. What do they call them? Cooperators, you might say.
They could be called Confederates.
Cooperators, comrades,
cooperative, well, cooperative NPCs, or I guess, in this case, they're called Old Hunters.
Right. Yeah. So there's like this eternal rhythm of hunting and destruction, and there's like the age of these worlds feels very real to the way the story unfolds, whatever story I could possibly understand. But yeah, so because I still, as you kind of said, like when you said earlier about David Lynch or Miyazaki, I don't know his name, that mysteriousness, it certainly can be off-putting to people. I think, you know what I mean? Because you get to they leave a lot of gaps. They put in just enough artistic genius might not be the right word, but it, like, the border between genius and stupidity is pretty thin, I think. You know what I mean? So it's like if it rubs you wrong, and if you don't like that they don't explain everything, David Lynch or this type of stuff could seem kind of stupid and nonsensical. But if you sort of embrace the notion that it's kind of up to you to sort of interpret it and solve the puzzle, and even then you'll never really understand it. It might come across as a genius thing in a sense. Or, I do think there's something convenient to a creator who creates these big worlds and these sort of universes where they are in charge of the rules. That is to say, a video game developer or a filmmaker. There is something to them not filling out all the details, because it is more work to do that. I don't know what I'm rambling about. I think it only works with certain types of decision makers. You know what I mean? It's easy. It's harder to hit the genius part of that equation than the stupid part of the equation. If you're, it's like jumping out of an airplane. There's a lot more ocean than a big pillow.
Right.
Yeah.
And the best I could piece together from watching, the loading screens and things like that, is essentially there is, I think Ludwig was the first hunter, or one of the first hunters. He established something called the Healing Church. And the Healing Church was in charge of disseminating the Old One's blood to the masses. And they found the Old One's blood underneath Yarnum, inside what we later find out to be the Chalice Dungeons. So people come by the thousands to come and get blood from the church, and the Healing Church controlled that. But over time, eventually, the old blood starts turning them into horrific monstrosities, at which point the church has to create the group of hunters to go out and clean up the mess that they created.
Yeah, that's basically what I said earlier. No, it's not. It's not at all.
And which is where the phrase "fear the old blood" comes from, because the old blood is what did this to everyone.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. See, I'm going to learn a lot doing this podcast with the viewers, because James is going to explain stuff that
I could be totally wrong, though. I could be misinterpreting this. So.
Oh, I know, and that's okay. And I know you're not claiming to be the authoritative.
Oh
voice.
No, I'm just parsing through scraps of information that the game throws at me and trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, and you're good at that, and you have a better brain for it, and you've looked up some shit on the internet to try to understand it too. So yeah, you're if you and I were tasked with explaining it, I would give it to you. So here, let's watch Vicar Amelia get his ass beat by me and my homegirl Henriette.
Or her. It's a woman.
Vicar is a girl? Oh, Amelia?
Well, no, the title is non-gender specific. But...
Oh, yeah, Vicar. You know what? I was being patriarchal because I assumed Vicar meant church, which meant man, which it typically has in history. So I'm not that I'm for that. I think all religions should be run by women. And I think the Catholic Church should be fucking taken over by their women. Revolt! Revolt! Revolt, Catholic women! Come on. Then you guys can molest kids for thousands of years before we finally get rid of the rotten institution.
Nuns have never really done that.
Yeah, no, that's not their thing. Yeah, they wouldn't.
They'd just beat the kids.
It'd be a much better place if it were run by women, let's be honest. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, not that there's not some mean nuns out there in the world who, all right. Well, check out our other YouTube channel, Fuck the Catholic Religion, everybody. Check it out now that we're losing viewers rapidly. Here's Vicar Amelia getting the beat down that she's had coming to her. Boom. Nice. Very satisfying. And then watch, Hunter Henriette will take out her torch and disappear. Just goes away. You don't get to see her anymore.
Yeah, just like if you ever go hunting with someone, as soon as the deer dies, they just pull out a torch and just fade away into the...
Exactly. All right, so that was one of the first challenges where we saw the power of the cooperator, and that also speaks to Bloodborne and the Souls games' innovative and weird, enigmatic multiplayer system, where you read messages from other people, you see messages. The messages sometimes are helpful, most of the time they're not. You can watch the way other players die via activating their specters. You can see random phantoms that are kind of like white lines just running around, which is just someone else in their world. So you get this feeling at first it's a little off-putting. You're like, what the fuck? What is this what is this people? Why are there people running? What is all this? What are these written notes? But it starts to kind of fit into the feeling of the world that you're alone in your fight, but you're not alone in your torture. It's almost like everybody, whoever else is in this, is also experiencing a version of this torturous world of constant challenge and death and these wild events. And I'm not even mentioning calling up help and getting actual people either invading your world or showing up to help you with the fight. And then you can also offer to help them in their world or invade their world. So, and you tend to do them, at least it's my experience. I don't really jump into that multiplayer aspect of these games until far into the game. So we'll get to that. We'll see more multiplayer much later on in this podcast.
Yeah,
And
and all those things you just mentioned are present at least in Dark Souls, I think 2 and 3. I've never played the original Dark Souls, but I think that that's more uh, related to the whole Souls series as opposed to just Bloodborne. But
yeah,
Bloodborne does make good use of it.
yeah, exactly. And it just it's like a I like it. The reason I called it innovative is because it isn't just like have a friends list and join up in the PvP arena and go to the PvE area. It's like they converted other people's literal experiences. Some jamoke in Bismarck, South Dakota or whatever the fuck, playing it too, and then his message or her message will be on the floor of your game, which is crazy. So it's sort of it's an interesting idea that I can only imagine they thought wouldn't work, and then it actually works kind of brilliantly in a
Right.
sense.
And maybe you want to talk a bit about how they encourage people to leave the messages and to leave good messages. What's the
Oh
reward for
yeah,
that?
sure, yeah. So you can rate messages as fine, or foul, and when someone rates one of your messages as fine, you get a health. Your health goes all the way up.
Mhm.
So I would leave thousands of messages around and just try to mine it. No, I wouldn't do that. But you could definitely see the tactical usage of it. Like there's been a couple of fights where we're in the middle of a fight and we get a note, your message was rated, and then your health goes up. It's like yes, or right afterwards, you're like, oh, a little too late there, pal. Could have used it.
Yeah.
So there is an incentive system for like trying to put messages on, either that are helpful or just sort of like catch uh like a kind of a I don't know meme, a joke, sort of a jokey. There's sort of a understated cultural development within the game regarding the way the jokes form, and that's true of any group. That like
Yeah.
jokes, all groups sort of tend to form their own inside jokes, like a couple in a sense.
Yeah, anytime you see a corpse like leaning over a railing, there's always going to be a message behind it that says, "Try fist attack. Fist is effective." It's like, oh,
Yes,
I get it.
to fist him
Funny, guys.
up his poop chute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no messages that say like Michael Jackson held his kid just like this.
Yes.
That would be fun. So here's the next video. Where are we at here? We're loading up. Okay, so this one's pretty long. I think let me just jump ahead. Let's see. I know I start. Oh yeah. So there's this old lady. Anything you want to say about this old lady here, James?
The game tends to have what appears to be a town building mini game aspect to it, which we really didn't explore very effectively because I think what we did was we progressed too far in the main storyline and locked ourselves out of the potential to invite more people. But you can find people throughout the world who are willing to move to a more safe and secure location,
Yeah.
which is funny because she was behind a door in a way you couldn't get to her. And now she moves to a church, which has giant openings to the outside where monsters are patrolling mere 50 feet away from her. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but
Yeah.
she does give you sedatives.
That's true. She gives out sedatives, like all good grandmas. She hands out mind-numbing drugs, and hugs, and 7-layer salad, and maybe a big bowl of warm shrimp cocktail in which E. coli bacteria is, but it's called love coli. That's what the E stands for. It's the last letter of the word love. Yes, she's not the wisest in terms of safety. If you ever heard people fight outside your window in a city where I live here, or I've lived in cities for 20 years or more, you're just like, fuck, this is weird. And then,
Yep.
she's living in monster hell.
And she will knit you a full suit of doily armor.
Yes. Yep. Doily armor, not good against fire, but surprisingly good against, actually not surprisingly good against spider webs. So a guy runs out. We're not going to do play-by-play like this narrating.
So you can see right here how quickly you run into danger as soon as you leave the giant open door of the cathedral.
Yes, there's danger lurking behind every cart. Now,
Yeah.
Let me get the sound on here. Hold on, here's sound. Now this guy, he's just mad because someone took his makeup. And I just get my ass beat down real hard.
Yeah. So he apparently is of the Tumaru race, which worshipped the old ones.
Oh, okay. He's got a bell hanging off his shirt.
Yeah, all the really tall guys with the long, slender, pale white faces apparently are the Tumaru.
Okay. All right. So I get. Oh yeah.
Why they have bells, I don't know. We know
Now,
the bell is a symbol of beckoning across different planes of reality, so maybe it's symbolic.
yeah.
Heck if I know.
I don't know. Here we go. Take that,
That is
Hank's
very.
corpse.
It's more violent than I remembered.
Yeah. No. Okay. So we wake up back here. I'm trying to mute this stuff so it's not always. So I'm jumping around with the audio bit.
Oh,
So
and that lamp behind you is basically serves as the same function as the bonfire in the Dark Souls games.
yeah. That the main gripe with that is that you go back to the hunter's dream, which is where all the other ones, where that's your hub, where you
Yeah.
pick them. You have to go back there to go somewhere else. So you have to do a two-step train system. It's a hub and spoke system, not a distributed station. So
Yeah. One more thing you might want to touch on, and you may have already done this and it went over my head,
yeah,
but
go ahead.
upper right-hand part of the screen, you've got two things there. What are those?
Oh, one is the echoes. So your souls are called blood echoes. That's just the currency of the game, basically. And then the one below, which we didn't understand, it took a while to figure out. And no, we weren't googling everything, by the way. We wanted to
No.
experience this game like kind of the way the creator of it intended, which is the mysterious puzzle making, like doing a puzzle upside down. And so we slowly started to grasp some of the concepts by trial and error and just playing. So the lower one is the insight, which I still don't understand. You get when you spend it on more rarer items. There's sort of a different economy for insight gathering and spending. It makes more. We'll probably mention it again as we get into the chalice area and stuff. But you spend one insight for every time you call up a cooperator, either a person or a NPC. Although you can summon help from someone, and then if you get killed while you're looking for help, it'll refund you the coin you spent. That's just
Mhm.
nice. It's not like being at an arcade. If you get killed playing Afterburner, they just keep your quarter. It sucks. At least
Yeah.
send it to
Other
your
thing.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other thing that we learned is that the more insight you have banked up, the more susceptible you are to frenzy, which is a type of status effect that dramatically wounds you when a certain meter fills.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Insight increases your susceptibility, or it just means that when you get sucked by one of the insight drinking dudes,
I think
that's
early
different.
on when we looked at the insight meter, it was directly debuffing your resistance to frenzy, I
Oh yeah, it
believe.
does have, yes, it is connected to the frenzy stat, your frenzy
Right.
resistance.
So we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
figure out, well, if it's a form of alternate currency, that's a good thing. You want to have as much of it as you can. But on the other side, it's debuffing your frenzy resistance. So it's like pros and cons weighing the benefits against the detriments. It's a very interesting dynamic that I haven't seen in other games.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that is interesting. Man, so much of it is still I still don't really understand. Here's just me missing. Whoop. Now, I just want to point out that this guy's eyes are glowing because he has my souls, since he's the last one that kicked my ass. Although it doesn't always mean that the last person who kills you gets your souls. But I died where he
Yeah.
would then respawn, so my souls were available to him to become his glowing eyes.
Yeah, and you and I say souls all the
Oh
time
yeah,
talking about this stuff. We know it's really blood echoes, but
echoes.
souls is just easier to say.
Yeah, yeah. The brain just has echoes or souls are in the file before it's in the priority thing. So yeah, a little audio here. Oh, all right. Got my blood echoes back. So I just want to point out, see these golden. Let me turn the audio off. These golden glowy bits when I make, see right there. That's me receiving healing from each strike. So I'm getting my health replenished by attacking, which encourages you to get in there and be aggressive. You also often think that you got to be aggressive to save your health and get your health back up to a point where it's only going to cost you one blood vial to go full instead of two. And I'll get myself killed because I'm thinking, oh, I got to get my health back, and then I just get killed. So
Yep.
stupid.
And that particular thing is something that Trump has a lot of as well. It's called rally potential.
Yeah, he does have quite a bit of rally potential. Um, so let this roll here as we run up the stairs. There's another tall guy up here. I'll turn the audio back on for the fight. Oh yeah, I like to point out. He points at you. He's upset. He says, "You there? You there? I'm gonna get you." Yes, I was proud of my jumps on there. I actually remember recording it. Now the pal behind him is about to take a swing at me. Of course, he misses. So two hits to kill that guy. Those were strong ones. Those were getting 165 off of that, which it's amazing how like I would get like 600 off of a kill off of a swing nowadays. So we've got nothing
Yeah.
but stronger.
Would
Go
you
ahead.
mind quickly talking about the weapons you have and how you came to acquire them?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Thanks for asking me that question. This is a TED Talk now. So here I am calling up Henriette. Right? Or no, that's where I would have called up Henriette. Um, anyway, yeah. So these are the Blades of Mercy, which are made available quite early in the game, and they're pretty powerful. They're small. You can link them together into a longer weapon. Each weapon has like a two different modes, like a double-handed mode and then a single. That's an oversimplification because they're all very different. But these cost me 40,000 blood echoes, which took a lot of work to earn, especially at the beginning. You know, you can figure out different farming routes that are more efficient than others, but man, it sure took a lot to get to this point. And they're
But
they're
you
high quality.
encountered you came out of a rooftop and you saw a figure, an intimidating looking figure standing and almost looking over a
Oh yeah,
cliffside, and you immediately went in, guns a blazing, not knowing whether or not this
yes.
was an enemy or an NPC. It
I
turned out to be an NPC.
I was scared, so I turned to violence as the Second Amendment
Yes,
wanted me to. So, yeah, but it
but
was a mistake because it was actually someone that would have given me a quest, right?
yeah, I think her name was Eileen the Crow, and we don't know until we beat the game and do New Game Plus what kind of offerings this character will have because you brutally murdered her and took
Yes,
her
yes.
badge early on.
I slaughtered an NPC that was probably somewhat relevant to the game, and but the game lets you do that too. So when I played New Game Plus, once you get to the end and you do it all over, you get to start over with all your stuff. But we'll get to see that path and what her quest line is all about too. So I missed all that. And Eileen the Crow, I would have named her Carly the Crow for
Yeah,
Crowley.
or you
I
could maybe
Crowley.
summon her and say, "Come on, Eileen."
Come
Oh,
on, yeah, or caw on
yes.
Eileen. So what is this? Operate device. So here I go running in to fight these big dudes here. These guys were putting up a lot of fight at the beginning. Yeah, here we go. Sorry, I'm just skipping around. Um,
Yeah, these strike me as the Tumaru who probably had a little bit more blood administration going on because they look like they have been twisted a bit.
so in the story, these are hunters. These are ancient hunters that are now demons who roam this graveyard.
Well, I don't get the impression that these particular hunters, because hunters typically are humans and these are Tumaru.
Oh, Tumaru is different. Okay, see, I don't know. All right. The trick with these fellas is to stay under their legs and stab real fast, like when you fight a horse. That's basically
Yes.
it. So got him here. Let's listen to some audio on this one here. Oh shit, hold on, I turned off. There we go. Here we go. Hang, hold. Audio. I think I'm one-shotting these dudes in the new where we are now.
Oh yeah, they don't even get a chance to stand up.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, you just stay behind him like he's a worker at Disney World.
Yep.
So yeah, it's great. Those dudes were really scary and tough. They're like the biggest guys you see by the time you come around to seeing them.
Yeah, and
So
again, I can't talk enough about the sound design, just the weight of the
yeah,
steps they take, the jingling and the clinking of the chains. It's all just super well done.
totally. And I would say if you can listen to this with or play this game with headphones or good audio, definitely try to let the audio be a part of your experience. You know, a shitty audio system or a distracting environment is you're missing out on a lot of the game. And there's also plenty of the game where you kind of do repeat farming and stuff, so it's not necessarily, whatever. You get the idea. Oh yeah, that guy surprised me with that one. So the whole point of this, let's just skip ahead. I'm going to fast forward through this bit. Is to get up to a boss fight where So let me just say this. I'm just looking at the Blades of Mercy. I really used these weapons a ton and developed a fairly good muscle memory for how to fight with them. And then eventually we did come across some newer weapons that we changed out to. There's been a bunch of weapons, though, that I've gathered that seem like they could probably be pretty powerful, but I never really developed them much.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about this game is that the starter weapons that they offer to you at the very beginning can be just as viable and as powerful through the very end of the
Right.
game as the other weapons that you encounter throughout the world. It gives you a level of versatility that's unlike many other games. If you like a weapon enough, you can stick with it and you can see it through to the end of the game.
Yes. Yeah. And actually, that's something I would kind of, I don't know if I'd say this as a complaint, but it definitely took getting used to was the armor doesn't really ever get better. You don't get like all the armor is just differently better. So you have to sort of some of the armor you find later in the game is definitely better. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like you go from a level 50 to level 70 to level 90 to level 120 to 150 to 180. It's like the strongest armor is like one of its attributes is like a really good for fire resistance, and then the other armor, and then maybe good for blunt or slash damage or something like that. So you don't quite ever fully feel like you're developing much leveling up with armor. Although you do, it does seem like the game probably gives you other benefits to wearing armor, such as different characters will respond to you differently, or maybe it has like invisible factors that are being, you know what I mean? So I don't know. James can probably speak a little bit more intelligently about it than I can, because I kind of like it when you know you have like the upper level armor and you don't need to go back to the earlier stuff.
Yeah, it is like you're in an RPG and you finally find the Elite Dragon armor
Yeah,
set, and you know that as soon as you put that on, it's going to trump any kind of armor you could potentially put on. Or
right.
Minecraft, you get the diamond armor, and it's like, why would I ever go back to the gold armor or the silver armor or whatever? I don't know
Exactly.
a whole lot about Minecraft, but
That
yeah,
no, that's
the
exactly right.
all the armor is very unique and situational. There's no one suit fits all for the whole, entirety of the game.
Oh, so here we are calling up Henrietta. Yeah, it's situational, I guess. That yeah. So like if there's a bunch of poison in an area, you can put on the armor that's heavy on poison. So I guess that's kind of obvious. So here I'm gonna go
But the good thing
audio.
again is that maybe that's part of the reason why they didn't go with a weight-based system. You can carry every suit of armor that you
Yeah.
find as long as you don't go nuts cycling through them all trying to find stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't penalize you in that way. You'll never come to a point and say, "Oh shoot, here is a poisonous bog. I need to get my poison armor, but I couldn't carry enough weight, so I had to put it back in storage." You never really have to deal with that.
Right. Right. But you only care about stats. So when you get a new armor, you just look at is this blue or red? Like the blue means your stats are going up compared to what you're wearing, and red means it's a loss. So like you just kind of look at it. It just turns the armor into a bit of a stat container, which I guess is true of every item in every game. So, audio on here. Actually, I'm going to unlink this. This is annoying me the way I have to. Hold on a second. Okay. Audio back on, and then we're going to listen to the bell. So that's me telling Henriette, come on over. I need your help. Let's go kill somebody. So I had cleared out the pathway up, because Henriette, these NPC players will go after anybody that they see. They don't really have a good aggression. They don't take them shopping. And this way, by clearing the path to the boss, what I was doing was making sure that she doesn't, even though she definitely would kill anybody she'd fight, she would use her health potions to, I don't want her to waste her health potions. Just like when James and I go to the mall.
And then I get lost, and you have to ring the bell for me to
Yeah,
find you.
exactly. And I always find him fighting a group of of,
Yes,
of people who pierce babies' ears.
just kicking kids off the little train in the middle.
All right. Okay, so we're running up. I'm going to fast forward all the way up to here to the boss fight. I don't think we need to watch the entire fight. I mean, we got a bunch of this stuff to get through. So this is a cool chamber. You go through the fog wall. Henriette's got a giant hammer with writing on the back. Pretty intense. Not sure what I was waiting there for there. All right, audio back. So who is this? Ludwig? Vicar Amelia. Oh yeah,
Oh
we
yeah.
already saw the death of Vicar Amelia, so we know how this
Yes.
one ends. Let's just watch a little bit of the beginning, then I'll fast forward, and then we'll watch
Yeah,
the
and this
kill.
boss is unique because it does heal.
Oh yeah. And it was just like a sad lady just hanging out in this church, and then she mutates into this giant freak that had to
Yeah.
die.
You know why she was crying though, right?
She found out that SuckProfessor doesn't do as regular postings as it should.
No, she had ordered a bunch of pews for the church, but a package thief stole
Yeah. Hey, look! I got a bunch of pews in this box I stole.
them. Now she's pewless.
Uh-huh. Why was she crying?
She didn't get her pews.
Oh, is that really?
I'm making a point. The whole church is a church, but there's no pews.
I know you're making that
What
joke,
gives?
but I thought you had a reason why you knew why she actually was what she was upset about.
Oh, I don't know. So yeah, I just imagine people who live in
That's fine.
nightmares, churches are probably pretty depressed.
Yeah, there's not a lot of hope and positivity in this world. I think depression's probably the best you could hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. Get him! Get him, Henriette! So you can get the idea here, audio off while they fight. You can tell that the bosses have different attacks. They have they big, wide, sweeping attacks. They have long range, like where they jump or where they have a long arm or something. And then you beat them down. And so having a Confederate with you, they distract the boss. Obviously, it's sort of clear, but it's turned out to be a much more useful mechanism of the game than I had thought it would be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this first boss really kind of hammers home the point that they put a lot of care and detail into the design of their enemy creatures, but specifically their bosses.
Yeah.
And this is one of the best looking, coolest main introductory bosses I've ever seen. And I know that you fought the cleric beast before this, but this is really the first true boss arena boss.
Yes. Is there a hospital band on her wrist? I'll try to pause it.
I don't know.
Hold
That
on.
would be really interesting if there were.
On her left arm, which is usually where they do that, right? Don't they? I don't think that really matters. Yeah. Because there's like old weird hospital stuff and old medical crap, which is creepy and scary.
It could be when she went in to get microchipped.
Yeah.
And
look, it's
for her kennel cough.
Yeah. She had to go in and get that flea spray or that flea drop rubbed on the back of her spine.
Yeah, can you imagine it was more difficult she'd be if she had the cone on that directed blasts of come around the neck?
I don't know. I just want to see her left arm. There is that something right.
I mean,
I don't know. It's more just a wrist something or other.
Yeah, most people in this game have like bloody bandages wrapped everywhere, so it could just be that aesthetic.
And who knows when they invented the hospital wrist bracelet for IDing? They probably got that after European raves became popular. So here, let's just scrub
why
ahead.
Does she have antlers?
Yeah, exactly. That's for putting your top hat on. Antlers are really great coat hooks. So Henriette and I are just beating this guy. I'm staying away, letting Henriette absorb some damage when she can and do her job as an NPC who works for free. Swooping in with my Blades of Mercy when I can. I remember having to fight a bunch of times just to get through it. Okay, do we want to say anything about the inventory screen, James?
It's
fairly ordinary. I mean, there's not a ton of.
It doesn't really push the envelope.
All right. Okay, sound back. This is the final kill. Well, here, actually, no. Let me. Okay, a little bit more. So I'm throwing Molotovs at her. It's getting whittled down. Henriette's behind her, kicking her butt. I'm distracting her to protect Henriette. Henriette's distracting her to protect me. This nice old church lady has what she's got coming to her, and she's going to go see her god, Dana Carvey, soon. Here's the VOD. Yeah. Yeah. We've already seen this part. Henriette goes, torch. Bye. So off she goes. That's cool. Kicked her butt. Good time. So then you get to run around and get a new lamp and light some stuff up. Oh yeah, there's a whole thing here at the.
Yep.
What was this?
Lawrence's skull is up there.
Yeah. Hey, we look around a nice little chunk. You just never know what to do with half the things you come across. So
Lawrence was the first vicar.
yes, first vicar. All right, let's keep pushing. We got about several hundred hours to go. This is the guy that gives you the Legion. He is basically to instigate you to use cooperators. So you finally get a rune out of him right here, and runes go into your inventory. We don't have it in one of these shots here, so we don't need to go too deep into it. Why did I record this? I don't know.
Oh no, that was a trophy you got. You did not do that.
Yeah. So this is rune contact trophy. Okay, fine. Big deal. Got the first time. First time we got a rune finally, which is actually opens up another chain, another thing that you want to develop more of. So here's another one. Witch of, man, there's so many of these trophy ones.
Which is, I believe, that's Thor's mother.
The Witches of Hemwick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris Hemwick.
Those guys are so hot and handsome. They had to have two moms and two dads. They were a quadruple type of person. Similar audio to the Vicar of Amelia.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was this room was a good fight. You got these big freaky dudes. Let me turn the audio off. You got these tall weird guys running around with their knives and shit, and so they're like the ones you fight. But she's the real villain. She's sort of just summoning them, and so this was a pretty entertaining fight. I like the ones where you die like 2 or 3 times and then you win. Those are satisfying.
Yeah, I think this one was really teaching you how to use the terrain and to use the level to your advantage to circumvent the fodder and take care of the main.
Totally.
So, I mean, every game should have something like that. A tutorial that's not a verbatim tutorial, an implied tutorial.
Yeah, organic tutorial.
Yeah, one that teaches you how to play through the necessity of the gameplay.
Yeah, like I have a pamphlet. When I have sex with somebody, I give her a pamphlet that shows exactly how I like things. All right, so back into the area. We'll just watch the fight. Not sure why we recorded it. I think. Oh yeah, it lands on me. He just wanted one last hickey to take him to heaven. Just something to set him apart from all the other millions of ghoul spirits roaming around, hoping God smites them with love. That was fun.
I love how his hat stays on too.
Yeah, right here. Dong. And the little glowy part where the item it lives. So this is just a good synchronized battle. All right, that was cool. Good one. So here we go again. We're running around some area with bunch of freaks and shit.
Oh, I know what happens here.
Yeah, this is a good one. Pay attention. Whoa, my God.
And that kind of thing did not tend to happen.
No, there weren't
up until that point. So it was a genuine shock.
Yeah, that one caught us both by surprise. Although I think I handled it pretty well.
Yeah, your insight was pretty high at that time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was generally pretty overpowered for most of the levels I was at, I would say. I mean, I definitely had a lot of times where I wasn't equipped and got killed, but like I was pretty thorough about level like grinding and being a bit overpowered.
Yeah, you notice how the door doesn't break until he's all the way through it.
Right there. So you see,
it's like it's still intact.
Yeah, now it starts. There it goes. This is funny. This is fun. James is in a different room. We're screen sharing Premiere Pro on Zoom. Yeah, that's hilarious. Comes out. Now you can look at it. Think of all the candle holders you could make out of that wood. Such nice wood. All this old architecture and old nice wood. That's old growth wood, probably. So
maybe that's where Amelia's pews went. He stole them to make candle holders.
That's true. That's true. I was just also thinking of the candle holder I could make from her pubes.
Ooh.
So
I mean, as a wolf, you got a lot to work with.
Exactly. They're all pubes. By the way, Chewbacca, all mustache. That's just all mustache. Thumaru Chalice is the reward I got from killing this blood-starved beast. So this is a chalice here, right? Isn't that why I took screenshots? Because I don't remember taking all these. Yeah,
No,
that's what.
that's a trophy
Yeah, so we
screen.
get a trophy. So the chalices are what you use to open up the chalice dungeons, which is part of the sequence of gravestones that are like the portals in the hunter's dream. God, that sentence I just said was poetic. Here's more. More like the death-starved loser. I killed the shit out of that one. That one I think I beat in the one hit, right? The blood-starved beast.
Yeah, I remember hearing people say that they had trouble with this particular boss, but you didn't seem to
Yeah,
have too much
I just
issue with it.
yeah. It was like beating up a candy holding baby. All right. Where's there more here? Oh, these are identical. I don't know. It got some duplicates. That's okay. Oh yeah. So these little guys are they're just these little cuties. They're so fun. These are the messengers, and they live in a bath and they sell you stuff. But here, when we zoom in on them, they're just like these supportive little goofballs, and they're also the kind of way that messages on the ground exist. So when you write something on the ground, you leave a little puddle of these fellas, and they come up and they hold up a piece of paper or they hold stuff. Uh, they're kind of charming. Doesn't they look like a fun group?
Yeah,
Have a
and they were
Thanksgiving
the
meal.
ones. Yeah, they save you from becoming a beast in the very beginning, so they
Oh,
are
yeah,
on your
yeah,
side.
yeah. And their mouths are all vaginas. One's got a knife. So this little pool, this little bird bath, gets populated as you find badges. James had used the word badge earlier. He was talking about the crow lady, and so when I got her badge, that allows me to buy armor from that has her stuff or adds a weapon or two. So this little puddle isn't totally full. So it's nice. It's kind of like when a dog has babies. You're like, oh my god, there's two of them. Holy shit, 3, 4, 7, 10. It's amazing. Truly, truly beautiful. Really cute. We'll see more of them. Now here we are. Okay, this is I don't know why I recorded it.
Oh,
Oh
I know
yeah,
what this is.
I remember now. This is the guy who looks like me when I'm dating. And here we go. Oh yeah. Just a huge, huge slimy chode. That is a taint you do not want to be anywhere near. Except unless you're a video game like this is how baby kangaroos crawl into their mother's pouch. Hold me. Hold me. No, that's all. We could have done that for hours. So that was fun. Good times. I think that was okay, for some reason I have a logo. That's fun. That's weird.
Now you
More
got more messengers.
messengers. This might be slightly out of order. I thought it was all in order when I loaded it, but I didn't. All right. I think that's what's the diff. Oh, there's a new one. Hold on. Jumping around a little bit. Isn't there a new one in this group, I think? Well, the guy back there. See him holding the
Yeah, the guy
box?
with the
He-
briefcase or lockbox or whatever that is.
Backgammon, clearly.
Ah, yes.
Nightmare Lecture Building. Okay, let's watch this. Oh, all right. Hold on. Oh, another trophy. Just start getting to the Nightmare Lecture Building. Ah, big deal. All right. Okay. There's someone making a creepy stand. This is a pose or posture or whatever they call it that you get to do. Those are fun. I like those. Why? I think I saved it
Yeah,
just because.
it's an odd thing to be doing, just
Yeah.
standing around.
So that's another player in their game. That's what I was referring to earlier. Yeah. Okay. That's all that was. It's just an odd thing. More prey slaughtering. A Spank Hunter badge. That's cool. Dark Beast Parl. So here we are killing a guy. Nice. Good. Take that, jerk. I'm trying to move through these pretty quickly here, James. That's why I'm just sort of jumping ahead.
Looks like you're dressed as a nun doing it.
Yeah, totally. This is the same video. There's a duplicate there for some reason. So, all right, now, okay, this is a longer. We'll see what this is about. So this is in the Forbidden Woods, which is one of my pretty... It was a farming mainstay for much of the middle of the game until some later ones got opened up. I'm going to go quicker until something interesting happens. It's probably mostly down at the bottom. Or, sorry, at the end of the clip here. Oh, shit. Didn't mean to. I'm just trying to turn off the audio. All right, so advancing quickly into the town, running through. We really are just taking a tour here. This is rushing through to get to a cannon guy. There's the cannon. Of course, once you get past the cannon, he can't do much. And you can turn... Okay, killed him nice and quick. Let's advance. Oh yeah, that's actually our note. We fell off of the roof and tried to get left a note and hoped someone would be so enchanted by the note that they would risk their own life and limb to get to it.
Yeah, and that place is otherwise totally inaccessible if you don't fall from exactly the same place.
Right, exactly. So here we go. So got a fight about to happen. This guy out here.
Yeah.
This guy was kind of tough. This is the guy that has the rake. Really annoying. But I kill him. Now we have a fight coming up. This is why we have us saved here. Let's hurry. Oops, sorry. Let me just jump a bit ahead. I hope this works as a video. I think this will be fine. I think this is working okay. So, okay, we're getting a little geared up for what we know is a pretty tough fight on the other side of this.
And this was a human before that you spoke to who you could have invited back to your town, but you saw through that because of the messages on the ground of players warning you that this guy was bad news and attacked him.
That he was bald and looking and feasting on the corpses of like 4 people.
Yes, that was a bit of a red flag.
The clue.
Yeah.
But he says, "Tell me where I can go," and I mean, like, you could tell him, "Yeah, go back to where I have this church, which is the same one where the old lady who hands out sedatives is." So you kind of maybe had I told him to do that, which I probably will in New Game Plus. Then what? Then he wrecks the place, and you have to deal with the ramifications.
I imagine he would kill everyone.
Yeah,
because there are NPCs in Demon Souls, I believe, at least one NPC who, if you do allow him to go back to the Nexus, he will kill all the NPCs there.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so there's consequences to your decisions in this game, and it also feels bad to be like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to kill this poor bastard. So here, this is the return, though. So he turns into the monster right away. So once you get one chance to kill him, I mean, for that decision, and then he's always going to be the monster. So this is just a pretty interesting fight, pretty early in the game. It's a very aggressive wolf. I like that he talks. They don't all talk this much.
And what you don't see is before this fight, he puts on socks and walks across a shag carpet.
Right. Yes. That's where all the electricity comes from. Is that your...
It's how he buffs up.
He rubs a piece of raccoon fur on a stick at a physics classroom?
Yes.
Ha ha! There's the bloody rain. Nice. Well done. All right, so that was a good fight. That was tough, though. That we had to go like level up and come back because that guy was he just shredded me the first time. And we get the beast rune to add to our arsenal. Anything to say, James?
No, that particular rune, the strength of the runes is determined by how bright or faint the image in the rune is.
Yeah.
So that particular rune, the beast rune, was a fairly powerful one.
Yes. Right. Yep. Yeah, you can kind of see it here a little bit in this rune menu. Like this one, Clear Deep Sea, is not as bright as the Stunning Deep Sea. So yeah, there's a ranking mechanism for that. So here we go. I think this is where I'm trying to get these guys killed. Yes, this is back in this little town. I'm trying to get their attention. I want them to chase me. It'll be obvious. Ha ha! That's all that one was. Is that you trigger that thing by stepping on a trap and they all get killed. Fun. Nice. So there's little opportunities for silliness like that. What are we doing in here? This is a long one. Let's rush. I'm just going to scrub through this. Let me turn the audio off because it's going to get weird if I do that. Just changing runes. So something about... If anything jumps out that you see, James, that you want to point out, by all means. This is the Hunter's Dream, by the way. This is the woman. She's a doll. She's literally like, oh, I'm sorry. I was a doll. I was asleep or something. And she's where you get your echo upgrades, like you're leveling up. And these graves up on the side, as you get through the game, you add new options in those as far as your menu, your options as far as fires that you unlock. So that's a part of the progression. Ooh, Hypogean Goel. Remember where we didn't know what this was?
Yeah.
So just to bring the audience in, for some reason, after this, I don't know if it's after this, but for most of the playthrough, we couldn't get back to this area where we're about to go to. So actually, I don't remember what it was.
Or something.
It says function unavailable.
Yeah, so I guess we'll find out. Maybe the area gets destroyed or becomes inaccessible for story reasons. But
I don't know.
This will answer the question for us.
Here we go. Loading. Unseen village. We can get back there.
Yeah. I don't quite know why that's a problem for the game.
Yeah.
Now,
it won't let you do that.
Be. Well, no.
Maybe they just... The campfire's lost? Like you'd lose the power to... So let's just speed it up.
There must be a good reason for it.
Yeah, there must be some sort of like you've advanced past the point where that campfire is available or something like that. I know that there's the bell lady is up here. I think that might be what I'm going for. Maybe not. I thought she was in this corner. All right, sounds off.
So a lot of giant boar going through. The first one of which you encountered was in the sewers in the beginning of the game with the whole story of the little girl, Father Gassion's daughter.
Mm-hmm. Father, yeah, that's right. So I know there's a fight. So, okay, let's start it right here. Here's, oh, God damn it. Here's some sound. Sorry, hang on with me, everybody. There we go. So it wasn't real smart just dropping down into a group of 5 giant wolf dogs. I should have used that time to heal. Oh, that's right. So here we go. Let me rewind this a touch. Now just watch. Get fucked by them. That's right. You died. One more time.
That is Babe Pig in the City.
Come on, babe. I think it's inside. Oh, no, yeah, it's not inside. So that's fun.
That'll do, pig.
That's the word. That's the I was thinking of. James Cromwell. Yeah, so the pig messed us up, and then the pig had babies with those dogs. So here's another one. I think we got some more pig action in this clip. So that created bullets. I think I pressed the wrong button. Oh no! The other one comes at me too. Oh god! And then they porno kiss with their tongues out. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. So hold on, let me just kill off the audio.
It's like getting hit by 2 trucks.
Yeah, right there. Just hello. I tried to get no, you don't. You don't get to dodge that guy. So yeah, pretty intense. I like that stuff. And there's another one, another Dodge GMC truck. F-150 or something. There we go. All right, great. Fun. Let's keep going. We got some more bloody pig fighting. If I can get behind him and get him, I can do pretty good damage. Yes. That's right. That's the correct order of power. I kill you, not you kill me. Another one? Good. Okay. Why did I save that? There's something. Oh. Okay, I don't know. That's just so. Not sure why we saved that one exactly. That was a thing.
Yeah, pig footage is good footage.
Yeah, exactly. So here, let's audio off. What the heck? Oh, this is where I'm trying to use the coins. So you can throw these little coins down as sort of like markers and reminders.
Yeah,
And it just
not
floats.
the best.
Yeah.
Physics.
So I would be writing a letter to my senator about this physics mishap. Outrageous. Okay. So now we're in a different area. It's not all pig videos from here on out, guys. We got plenty other stuff, but we're in the pig section. Let's listen. Or actually turn the audio back. Right up the tushy.
Yeah, if you get them from the side, they're not very formidable.
Yeah, that thing comes out. Yeah, those pigs are just battering rams. Battering rams, they don't really defend the sides of them. And then this thing comes out of the ground.
It's horrifying.
Shit, damn it! I'm trying to. Ow. Yeah, so you get all kinds of stuff like that where you think you're safe for a second, and then some freak climbs out of the swamp and grabs your ankles. Reminds me of preschool. So Shadow. Oh, this one I think these guys only took a couple of fights. So this was I enjoyed this fight.
Yeah, once they get a little low on health, they turn to those snakehead guys and start spamming you with fire.
Yeah.
They can be challenging.
Yeah. But it was 3 dudes. They're like ninjas, if I recall. Blood Rapture. So yeah, trophy earned. Way to go. Here's a bit of a longer one. I'm not sure what was the point of recording it. So let's see. Okay, let me just back it up a bit. Here we go. Ow! This is like the kind of flies you get in northern Wisconsin. They are ferocious. Now look, I have a frenzy meter. This is frenzy up at the top, and if that gets all the way full, you take a big hit to your health. So you can have resistances that slow that down or make that bar longer or something.
Yeah, or you could consume a sedative before the bar fills to eliminate the negative effect of it.
And in this case, I just happened to be very close to the edge. I didn't actually hit the very limit, even though it seems like it pretty much was. So... All right, that was cool. Okay. Not all of them are going to be special there, everybody. Just hang with us, though. This is a 5-minute video, but we're not going to, like, roll all 5. What is... So, this just has a couple of what we already just did. So here, let me turn the audio. Let's fast forward just to see where the heck we end up. We are running. Okay, more fights with those guys. I think there's a big battle.
Yeah,
right around the corner.
Leads up to that research hall area that you spend a good bit of time in.
Yeah. Also, this leads to I just don't know if it's in this clip or not. Yeah, there's the head sucker really close to here, so we'll see if that's what's in this video or not. Sorry, I'm just fast forwarding. And or I know I got invaded. Yeah, this is it. This is a tough fight. So watch what happens here.
So you have 37 insight.
Yeah, keep an eye on the insight. So this stuff is like a limited resource. Although at this point we really haven't figured out how valuable it is. But the fact that they include it as a primary information thing on your HUD obviously indicates it's important. So, but we still hadn't quite understood it, not even by this point. Audio back. I'm ready for a battle. I'm real confident, real tough. God, don't forget that I'm a stone cold executor of people who deserve to die. Bring it on, ramen noodle face. Okay, that's fucked up. What the hell was that? Okay, here's a mild complaint. If you see me running like that weirdly, I'm trying to lock the camera on the bad guy. So that is one small quibble with the game, is sometimes you're trying to lock the camera and it just centers it behind you. So it doesn't always, there's room for improvement with that. Not sure how they do it perfectly, but it's still, that's what's happening. If it, I should have not done that. And then I get in close, and he locks me down with his spell. No! Oh, God,
that is
no.
so gruesome to watch. So you lost 2 insight from that.
Yeah. So 2 insight down. But watch.
And a lot of health.
A lot of health. Oh, God damn it. That's because they're linked. I'm going to... Okay. I just want to show the way his hands shake. Right here. Oh, what the... Oh, fucking Premiere. Sorry. God damn it. It does that. Jumped me. It jumped to the beginning. I didn't tell it to do that. Okay, right here. Watch the hands. Ooh, that's weird, isn't it? How his hands go, ooh, like he's so excited.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either. His hands right here. It's like,
Knows dinner's coming.
Like when you're so overstimulated that you're shaking like a dog, or me, like when I go to Red Lobster. Gets you. More to this. Oh, whoop, wrong way.
Yeah, just the visuals of how the tentacle grows and pumps and sucks, and
yeah, it's nasty.
Horrific.
So insight's down to. I don't think I noticed at this point. I'm hoping to just keep ranged with the gun. And it's like, oh no, not again, no. What are the logo? Sorry. So it's drinking insight. Now so it does take a few more, but I saw.
Yep. He drinks your milkshake.
Right there. Okay. Oh, I see. So frenzy, and then this is, what does that one mean?
I'm not quite sure.
I remember seeing that later on in a different setting, so I can't quite think of what that means. So yeah, this bastard killed me that time. No, he doesn't kill me that time. I managed to get myself killed somehow here.
Uh-oh. Well, there you go. So the brutality of it is, not only do you die, but you lose 6 insight, which is massive.
Yeah. Not 7, I think, right? Yeah.
You started off at 37.
Oh, yeah, 6. Duh, I'm stupid. 31. Okay. I just want to see this angle here, right when he gets it into my head. Right this moment. There comes the giant straw. Straight down. Crunch. That's awesome.
Like,
glug,
I don't
glug.
see how one of those doesn't kill someone.
Right. Yeah. Look at his hands on the back of my head. That's just so horrifying. Something very weirdly intimate about that posture. Yeah, that one was fun. I like that. Okay, another battle. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this one I was invaded, and we had a long fight. In fact, let me just check something really quickly here. I'm not going to play. Okay, that is... Oh, I see. I cut it off. Okay, sorry. This guy was, like, I think my first invasion, and I put up a good fight, though. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, so I had I had the Confederate there. Okay. So this goes on and on and on. So we're not going to watch all of it, but there's a lot of this jumping around. Let's fast forward. Okay, so that's what gets my buddy killed. I'm gonna rewind it. So he goes up and he's able to get the other. James, maybe you can explain this after we watch it. That during these invasions, you got to get you can be attacked by the enemies in your world. But let's watch it first. No. All right, so I'm gonna turn the volume down while it plays, and James is gonna explain what just happened.
Oh, yeah. So when you're invading someone in a Souls game, you become what's known as a Black Phantom surrounded by red. I don't think the terminology is exactly the same in this game, but the crux of it is identical. So when you're in someone else's game, you are considered to be an enemy. Therefore, you are immune from the perceptions and damage of other creatures within that game. So if you can get the host of the game or one of their summoned companions to move into an area where there are active monsters, they will work in your favor to attack the host while you also attack the host. So you're playing the game universe against the host.
Yes. Right. Yeah. And so that's what he did with that other dude, getting the bug guy to attack. So yeah, I wasn't really even aware, but we lasted quite a while. Lots of jumping around.
Yeah.
It's this dance between can I heal? Can I get far enough away to catch my heal without him
And
interrupting it?
the key thing about this fight is that you stagger him at least a couple of times, and had you known the visceral attack was at the time, you would have killed him really quickly.
Yes, I think that if that were in my arsenal, I would have had the ability, or I might have had a better chance. This guy clearly had a little bit more experience than I do, but I just didn't understand viscerals yet. It took us that was kind of a later thing for me, and I think generally you could pick up on it pretty quickly because it's not like you're restricted from using the mechanic when you start. So so yeah, I think I definitely would have had a shot at him. It got really close though, so now keep an eye on our health. We're gonna let the audio back. Watch his health and watch my health. This actually turns out to be very close. Oh, so he was so close. I was really like one hit from killing him. Look at his health right there. And he got a little
And
health
you
from
had a
killing
blood
me.
vial left too.
Yeah, I had one blood vial left. Like it's just you jump one direction, you maybe your angle on the stick is just off enough that you're gonna jump into his range. Like the difference between winning and losing is so subtle. Also, you can just get your ass whooped too. So that's the sting of being killed by a invading person. This is some jagoff in Bismarck, South Dakota, who decided to come in and ruin my day.
Now, why is it that he was able to invade you at that point in time?
I don't know. Because
Oh, it's because you had summoned a creature, or not a creature, but you had summoned a companion who was from a darker red hue summon spot.
right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So if you guys remember, the Henriette summon spot was like an orangey glow. There's like a darker colored one. There's also a blue one. The darker red one means that a sinister woman activates a bell or some shit. It tells you that, and then that means that now your world is open to being invaded. Yeah, that's right. You open the vulnerability, right?
Right, and I think the trade-off is you get a slightly stronger companion. That may just be observational error, but
Yeah.
there has to be some sort of benefit to offset the detriment of being able to be invaded.
Right. It seems like it. Yeah. And then you can also, so it says a sinister woman rings a bell. You can run around and find her and kill her. just turn it off. So the off switch to the risk is to hunt down the lady who's letting the guy, the dude in to kill you. So it's a brutal system. So this fight goes on forever. We have a lot of footage here. I'm not gonna play everything, but I am gonna just get started with some sound. Now he reappears, I think. This is Rom. I know it's not Rom from DS9. I really wish it was. So now he's got a whole new crew of spider buddies, and he's launching giant rocks at me. So, all right, sound off. I'm going to fast forward if James has anything he wants to say.
Oh yeah, this boss fight was actually difficult to find because in order to get to it, you had to go to a balcony off a lecture hall, jump off of it and into a lake, which at any other part of the game would tell you inherently is death.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was exactly what you needed to do.
Right. To dive in off this pier balcony thing. Yeah. And then it gets
right
you
in
this
front
area.
of Willem.
Yeah.
Professor Willem or something Willem.
Yeah. A feeble old man who can barely, in a wheelchair.
And he does point to the place where you're supposed to jump off, but it doesn't make it abundantly clear that that's what you need to do.
Yeah, he might as well have been telling you to get the clicker off the TV because Judge Mathis was about to start and he wants to watch it. Turn the volume up. Yeah, it's impossible to understand half this stuff. So the notes on the ground become helpful. Obviously, you could look up guides online and ruin the entire experience. That's always an option with every game. So yeah, you have this. This fight wasn't particularly hard. Just a lot of staying. The spiders have good defense on the front, not so much on the sides of the back. So eventually, though, let me just hit it again. A little more fast forward. We'll get to the end. Even more. 4 times the speed, I believe. And we're whittling down the spiders. And here we go with some sound. Brom's got no defenses. He's a giant slug with tiny little legs. A rock for a head, but a spider butt for a body. Nice.
Yeah. Now, there is something else that I don't fully understand yet. And there is a distinction between bosses and enemies as to which ones are true old ones and which ones are kin. This one in particular is a kin. It drops a kin cold blood, which means that at some point, and I think this is true, that it originated as a human.
Well, it's got a name like Rom.
Right.
That's sort of,
yeah, it attempted to ascend to become an old one. It failed and became a kin or something to that effect.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. I never even actually connected the cold bloods to the kin because you can get armor or you can get bonuses to kin damage and bonuses to beast damage, but we never quite dialed in on how to use that effectively.
Yeah, and I think it has something to do with being able to see the color of the blood that something exudes when you attack it to tell whether it's a kin or a beast or elsewise, but I don't fully understand that yet.
Yeah, I don't get it either. All right. Here's a trophy. Oh, this is just from the same trophy from killing Rom. Why do we have another video of Rom here? Oh, this is after killing Rom, so we recorded this. Okay, so this is cutscene after Rom. You know what? We should watch this. What the? Oh, God.
Yeah. Later in the game, you find out that's the Tumaru Queen and that there is a ceremony that takes place where she is chosen to bear the child of an old one, but the union between the Tumaru and the old ones never produces a living child, but the child becomes some sort of a Old One in Death or something, which becomes Murgo, or it's not clear.
Yeah. So also I turned off the audio layer, the adjustment layer that brightens everything up. That's why you can see it changing like this. So for the cutscene, it's more appropriate. I just have it brightened up because YouTube, all I see video editing and exporting will make shit dark. So nice. Yeah. So we saved that. There must have been more to this part. Why we would have saved it. Well, this is an interesting bit here. Yeah, so now this thing actually, so when you first see these glowy blue things, you don't see the hand. Something about what I've gained has allowed me to see the hand. So now we can actually see where these glowy blue things are coming from because they grab you and they like launch you up into the air in this very awkward way. But now that you can see that it's the monster's arm, you kind of get an explanation for why and what it is. At least a little more information, maybe not an explanation. Here's some more audio here. All right, this is exciting, huh? Yeah, so you get a decent sense for what that is. So, what did? Okay. Yeah, this environment was very interesting. There's more to this clip. I just want to see if there's something else that we recorded. You know, I'll just let it play because I think it's probably jarring to jump ahead too much. At least the fast forwarding, you can kind of keep the frames. Pretty cool moon. Enjoyed doing that shot. That was probably
And
intended
as you
for the
meet
video.
major boss encounters, the world does change, the time of day, the sky, and that affects NPCs and it affects spawns and it affects just the layout of the population of monsters throughout old areas of the game and new.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you're always incentivized to re-explore areas you've already gone. Let's just turn the audio on this part. Oh fuck. Wow. So fun. So that guy, if you notice, his face is kind of red. He's respawning because he's being summoned. The red indicates that that's their station in life. All right, good. What else is there here? This is another kind of a long one. Let's just start the beginning. We'll see where we end up. My health is all the way down, but I jump away and desperately try to heal. And I do. So somehow I managed to survive that. I don't know exactly why we got this clip here because there's more. It's usually at the end of it. Oh, this is the summoner. So this person is like one of the bells ringing ladies that they're easy to kill when you get up to them, but once you kill them, anything that's red faced that she's part of summoning cannot be summoned. So sort of a multi-headed boss there. Audio gone. James, anything you want to point out or add?
No, I mean, I think this is pretty. I'm trying to remember what part of the game this is, whether this is where that big laser is or not.
Laser.
Yeah, because remember there
Oh
was that
yeah,
big
kind of. It's in that
staircase.
area. Yeah, it's in that area. Yep. I don't remember the name of the spot, but yeah, this is a fairly um wide-ranging area with all these different little. This is kind of near where we got killed by those giant pigs running around. In the basement is a woman who has a whose attitude changes depending on what clothes you're wearing. But I think
That would
there's
be a great. You'd have a future as a real estate broker with that kind of a tour. Over here in the basement, you'll find a woman crying in the corner who reacts to your clothing.
her
And we're
attitude.
walking, we're walking, we're walking. The
She's
kitchen is very spacious.
yeah. This here's the master bedroom. See the skeletons that are on the ceiling. They only come to life if you're wearing the wrong kind of torch. Okay, so make sure. Um, yeah, her attitude's not so good, but that's because she's trapped in an eternal world of torment in the basement of a dungeon. Let's just
She's
watch this.
sold as is.
Yeah. You could replace her with a granite vanity countertop, but yeah. So you get some health back with those swings. I don't know why we would have recorded. Here's we're near the end of this file, so let's see if okay. What made us record all that? I think there was just some good fighting in that last 5 minutes and some decent action.
That might have been the case.
Yeah. Usually it's obvious, but sometimes we're in the moment. You're like, record that. So okay, so this is similar. This bad guy is similar to the boss, except it's like more like a hot air balloon basket with about 50 people sewn into a giant monster.
Yeah, it looks to me like the thing that's flying through space at the end of Poltergeist 1.
Okay, all right. So I wake him up. Big, ugly, weird arms. And I'm just talking about James.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so you get behind it and you can do a lot of damage, all these tortured skeletons. Take that, jerk. Okay, that was fun. Another battle with a similarly equipped monster. More than one of them.
Yeah, there is a bit of a jump scare around this part of the game too.
Yeah, the double kill. Yes, I'm trying to remember. I do remember that. I just don't know if we got that.
Yeah, we never did really uncover the mystery behind those flaming skull piles around that area of the game. We knew that we
Right.
could extinguish them if an enemy walked into them, but what purpose they served or if they were all decorative,
Yeah,
I don't know.
because they caused damage, but also they messed with the something was weird about those things. I never here's more. Oh, this is a cutscene. No, that's kind of cool. That's a pretty neat shot.
Yeah.
Let's turn off the. So it's normally pretty dark like that.
The One Reborn.
Oh, I was taking my hunter's mark to get out of there to try to save my 42,000 souls or echoes. Oh, the white messenger ribbon. James, white ribbon made of fine lace that shines remarkably more. Okay. We'll get more to that ribbon stuff later, but there's a mystery that we have between the white ribbon and the red, bloody white ribbon. I think I screwed up and got someone killed, and therefore we never get the white one because it got bloody, so to speak. Okay, so I'm not sure why we saved that exactly. So here's another part of this boss fight. I think this is the end of it because we get the trophy.
Yeah, that's.
Like it gives you it takes It gives you 15 seconds, 30 seconds. These are so it gives you the last like 14 seconds for the boss fight. Just go back 30 or 60. Come on. 15 seconds is nothing, especially since the last chunk of it is you lose 4 seconds to just standing there looking at the camera like this.
True.
Because the game did this recording. This isn't us recording this.
Yeah, you can disable that too. It's in retrospect, I should have.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not trying to complain to the manager or something. All right, more. There's that icon again. I think that, I don't know. Okay, why did I save this? I don't know. That was just.
I mean, that particular enemy might have been giving you trouble.
Yeah,
which would trigger you to record it afterwards.
Yeah.
Because usually a creature doesn't drop a madman's knowledge unless he's somewhat formidable.
Right.
And you wouldn't wave like that if
Yeah,
he
I wouldn't have done
wasn't,
a fun
a
wave.
celebration.
Hello. That's me. Over here. Come on, wear your mask, everybody. Okay, so this fight I think is with Murgo's nurse. No, not
no,
Murgo's
this is
nurse.
way before. Well, not way before, but this is before
No,
that.
no.
In the poison swamps.
I misunderstood the shot that I looked at. Okay, poison swampy stuff.
A lot of rock throwers and snakes and a weird spider jerk.
And a lot of gravity. A lot of ways to fall off cliffs.
This is the first time you encounter the big brain dudes.
Oh. Maybe we should... oh, that's something else time. So what these are, these in Dark Soul and Demon Souls, they're like glowy shard ones. There's a version of them in Souls. They're these little things. Is this what you're talking about, the brain dudes, or is that a different thing?
No, exactly. The ones that sing, not the ones that.
Okay, those are different. So what these guys are is I was chasing. These things run. They don't ever really attack you, and if you kill them, you get a good reward, like a bloodkin or like a bunch of echoes or something. So they're sort of incentivizing. They sort of appear at places where you shouldn't be reckless.
Yeah,
and so
they're basically crystal lizards from Dark Souls.
Yeah, exactly. So they're you want to get them, and I was being a little eager with this one here, as you already saw what happened. So I went, I'll get him. I'm gonna fucking get him. Oh no, I didn't get him. That's funny. There's a couple of screenshots. We weren't taking screenshots other than what the game is producing for us. Oh, here's a whole bunch of stuff in this one. Let's just double speed ahead without sound to get to where we're trying to go.
Those singing things are called winter lanterns.
Yeah. Winter lanterns. That's freaky.
Mm-hmm.
There's a boss fight is where I think we're headed with this battle. So we come up, we cross this bridge, and sound us back.
Should be the amygdala, if I'm saying that correctly. I don't think
right.
I am, but I think that's what this is.
Okay. I don't know, but the fear center in my brain just activated.
Yes.
I want to point out, and then we're going to let this play. Hold on. We'll see it again. Oh, right there. So see this huge gap? I'm curious if that's a way that you could attack him. Like that's a massive crit spot right into his chest or something.
I'm sure it is. We just never really had the opportunity to exploit that.
Yeah, because this is one of the few bosses where you could change your targeting to its back end or its front to different parts of its body. So here, I'm gonna turn the sound off. This fight goes on for a while, but we'll bring the sound back for the actual kill, if that's indeed what happens. Fighting a giant being with such long limbs with the Blades of Mercy, which have small, this probably wasn't the smartest move, but that was my strongest weapon. And like with all the boss fights, you sort of have to learn their pattern. You got to learn their animation routines and their pattern, but their pattern also slightly changes from one encounter to the next. It's sometimes they'll be really jumpy, and sometimes they'll use the laser thing like 20% of the time, and then sometimes you'll go back and then they'll be using the laser thing like 60% of the time. So they've mixed up their boss's pattern enough. It seems like it to me. I could be wrong, but I got the impression that it like has like 5 moves, and it's not 20%, 20%, 20%. It's like it random rolls it or something. Again, I could be totally off, but that's the way it seemed like to me. Because I'd be like, oh, I know what he's going to do when he does this move. And I'd go back, and he's not even doing that move at all or something. Or it's like, why is he doing so much laser? And I go back, and it's not so much laser. It could be just totally random, too.
That's what we call RNG.
What is it?
Always RNG.
RNG?
Mhm.
Oh, my God. Look at he's squirting blood out of his back here. Okay. It's like my dad when I wrecked the Sebring.
Yeah.
He broke his own arms off. Now he's using his arms as well.
Yeah, to get a little extra range. But RNG means random number generator, which explains the random nature of the the difficulty to predict behavior, because every time you encounter it, it's going to do a different combination of things based on random factors.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So he's holding his own arms as weapons now. Do we get to see him do the tearing off? I just want to see. That's kind of fun. So here, I think he takes the back arms. So he's got all his arms. Okay, hold on. I just want to catch the moment where he tears them off. Might be after I cause this damage. Put him into ultimate rage mode. Stomps his feet. Oh, they must all. That's what's causing all the spray. So I didn't really see him tear it off. Must have been like right around here. Yeah,
that's where ocean spray cranberry juice comes from.
Yeah.
This video is sponsored by Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, and that skateboarding guy.
Yeah.
Who is now the CEO of the Ocean Spray Corporation.
Yes.
It's called Skateboard Spray. So yeah, that's pretty awesome that he's using his own arms as a weapon. Bit more fast forward. Moving in.
You think he died from blood loss pretty quickly?
He's getting transfusions from blood being born.
How that much blood existed in that skinny body too is a mystery to me.
Yeah. Big giant swing, nice, deadly slaughtering. And I sit down and think about what I just did. That's fun. So here's two more of the same. We'll skip those. So yeah, that one was fun. That's a good boss fight. Let's see what this one is. I'm in a tower sort of area, climbing up different layers.
Oh, this is the upper cathedral ward. I think this is where all the gunners are.
Mm-hmm. Like that guy.
Speak of the devil. Not cool.
And then there's this dude. He walks off. So let's watch that again. Oh yeah. Gonna get you. No. Nice and easy. And then you get the souls from that too. Sweet. All right, that was cool. That was fun. Opening another trophy reward. Finally unlocking that.
This leads to the choir.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Hey, the choir. Yep.
Yeah. Very good. This is not a cathedral. We recorded this, so. Oh yeah, this is another one of those insight head sucker things. That's what I like that weapon. You get a ton of swings and. Why did I save it?
Yeah, after all the abuse that you took from those particular enemies, it makes me feel like the reason for recording that one is just the vengeance of having dominated one so completely. The vengeance of having
Dominated one so complete. Dominated one so complete. Dominated one.
Why did I save it?
Why did I save it? One so completely. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's probably it.
That's probably it.
I would have been very happy to finally, because those things cause all kinds of chaos. Because the cost of losing the one is like you lose these, what are obviously important, the insights. All right, so here's another. This is fast forward. There's something about to happen. Oh yeah, so there's a guy in the room. All right, regular speed. Yeah, same reason. We just beat the shit out of them. That's all that really matters.
Just whooping up one of these bastards.
And you can see you're down to 0 insight, which means you've been tapped pretty hardly by those guys up to this point.
I think I also went out of my way to get rid of them too, right? Remember I went and spent a bunch?
I think you did do some messenger bath spinning sprees.
Yeah, just to get rid of, knowing that I would reduce. I'd rather the insight go to my, hoarding habit of buying stuff rather than into these guys' bellies.
Right.
Oh, good. So we got notes that we wrote. So this is fun. James, we're going to be about 2 hours here, and we're nowhere near finished. So maybe we should do this in 2 parts, push for like another 20 minutes. And
yeah, that works. I don't know if Zoom has limits on how long you can go, but I guess we'll find out pretty quickly if it does.
Oh, yeah. I would assume it'd give us a warning. 2 hours has got to be, I mean, all kinds of companies are having meetings that are longer than 2 hours.
Yeah, I think they extended it after companies started using it during the pandemic as much as they have.
Right.
So
yeah,
I think we'll be okay.
I want to get a girlfriend this year, but only via Zoom. So I could get like a 2 hour window. No, I'm joking around. It sounds like a nightmare. Dying of loneliness during this pandemic. It's horrible. Yeah. So anyway, here's...
Can you imagine like sitting on the couch with her watching a movie and then 45 minutes in, she just raises a torch and disappears?
honey, you're muted. You're muted. Put your, no. Click on it's next to the microphone. She's like, but she's right next to you. So these are some notes that we wrote. This one did well. It's all thanks to all's well. Therefore treat all with care. And I think that was near a well. Obviously 9 people were more than unimpressed with it. 27 liked it. It is all thanks to Amazon. Wonder's Darling we had placed right by where Henriette was called upon, as we saw earlier in this video. So we're calling her an Amazon and a Wonder's Darling. Mildly sexist, no doubt. But 50 people agreed that the Amazon, and because it was definitely an honest feeling. We were grateful that her presence was there to help us with our game.
And then the boss fight, the Witches of Himwick. There are
Yep.
2 witches, which you called Wondrous Darling and Wondrous Darling.
2 of them. Only one person agreed they were wondrous. Nothing but rolling here. Wondrous rolling was in a room of jars, so you can roll through jars and screw them all up. Oh, here's one to treat queen with care, or infected one. I put that outside a prostitute's door. Someone who clearly makes it. I mean, she makes it. She's like, you come across these houses, you can knock on the doors. You never see the person, you just hear a voice. Easy to animate. So she does make it pretty clear that she is a woman of the night, plying the world's oldest trade. And by the way, sex work is work, and it should be legalized. There's no reason people should be ashamed for making money using their body, which is what you do when you work any job. So, shout out to people who are prosecuted by our weird, stupid world here. Anyway, James, that's my feeling. I wouldn't go to a prostitute myself. I think I'd be too awkward. I'd probably be like, can you pay for your red lobster? I didn't know I was have to pay for you. Jesus.
It's just so hard to get them to pay the bill afterwards.
Yeah. Although honestly, I would get exactly. What's your Venmo? I would go to a prostitute just to have her hold me, to be honest. You know that in Game of Thrones, there's the guy goes and she just holds him, and then they cut his neck and they kill him. But I would be the just hold me guy at a prostitute. I totally would. I would offer to hold her, but she probably doesn't need that from me because I'm just a piece of shit. All right, good stuff. What else did we do here? Reeks of church and reeks of prayer. That one got
People didn't. That eventually grew to a lot of fouls. I think.
Yeah,
it seems odd to me that there would be overly religious, sensitive people playing a game like this.
I know. I mean, I think I put that in like what was more of a tomb than a church, but it was a very every building in this game it has holy.
Yeah.
Significance.
Now there was literally nothing to be done at that part of the church. There was no secret, no item, no reason for a note other than just a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humor.
Little ribbing,
and maybe that's why they said it was foul, because it was a useless note.
Yeah.
For the purposes of game discovery.
Well, yes, exactly. And the game gives you like limited constructs for syntax, like for these words. So you get to pick as from a set list of sentences and then from a set list of a few different groupings of words. So you kind of have, it's almost like making words out of those refrigerator magnets that have words on them. And you kind of like make little poetry at the party where you're like, dogs and cats are drunk. More of these. So yeah, beware of footing. I think that's whatever. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, all right. This was a nice diversion.
And each one that was blue was a full refill of your health.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get, if somebody rates your note and you're not online, you just get notified of it as you log into the next time.
Yeah. Also, let's hope YouTube lets us go with this upskirt shot that we're doing right here. This is not something that YouTube normally likes. They don't like upskirt footage. Look at the skirt, James. It's good.
I can see right through you.
Yeah. Oh, that's the belt. All right. That was fun. Okay, a couple more. Let's see. Yeah, we got a few other fights ahead, and we'll probably break. Probably call it a day in like 10 minutes or 10, 20 minutes or so. So now we're back in the area with the fucking freaks. Go ahead.
This is fighting your way up to Murgo.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. That is, we're in the right, we're in that area. But let me see. I'm just going to fast forward.
One of your notes was rated fine. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, that's how it looks. Fine. Little annoying that can be in the way.
Were you missing any health at the time that happened so we could see it refill?
I was missing bullets.
What
do you mean?
Because when you get a note like that, it refills your health.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No,
and it looks like you were
health.
at full health.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's right. We didn't catch that. That's okay. So we end up back at the Hunter's Dream. There's the doll. See how she sits there? Real creepy. Just fucking sitting there like a damn doll. It's like, can you at least twitch like a considerate human being? I came upon my stepmom's mother, like my grandma, basically my step-grand, I don't know, family member. They were family forever, so it's even feels weird to say step. Totally family. But anyway, old lady, really old. Like, you'd think she's dead. And I walked in, and I thought she was fucking dead, just laying there on the couch. And I froze in my tracks, and I stood there for like 2 minutes. And I slowly approached her, and then she turned into a demon, and I had to slay her. No, but she started breathing again, and then she died like within a few years of that. Great story. Nice woman.
She started breathing and then she died.
Yeah. Here's me stocking up on stuff. This is not why we recorded this area. I think I'm heading right back to it. Okay. Another white messenger ribbon loading screen. Now we get into... So I'm just going to let it go quickly here. I'm skipping ahead. Sorry, guys. I know this is jarring. Okay, now we're at a battle. Let's get the audio
Now,
back.
I believe, if I'm correct about this, that there are old ones and then there are failed old ones. And I believe these are failed ones.
Oh, I relate to that. Let's go. Celestial Emissary.
So I think this is a kin that failed to ascend.
All right.
Because as you go through the level, you see others that have the bulbous heads and they're begging for forgiveness, saying, I failed you, I failed you.
Oh, they say that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, something about eyes on the inside and all this mess.
Yeah, these guys always had this otherworldly quality. I thought they were like alien-ish, but obviously they're just different sorts of mutations. Not a difficult fight per se. It's kind of like going into a preschool and just murdering kids in their garden, in their park. But as you'll kind of figure out, one of the characters is the bad guy. So you finally figure out which one it is, or at least...
Yeah, I think it's the one in the middle wearing the white robe.
What? Oh, me? Yeah,
Yes.
I know. It's like
Kind
how
of
am
the
I not
bad
the how am I not the villain in this? Just minding their own nice little area, nice plants, nice and peaceful till I came along, spearing and burning them, stabbing multiple ones at once, setting their arms aflame. How dare they?
Now, is there a way visually to tell which one is
I
the
don't
main one?
think there is.
The only thing I've noticed is that the main
Now
one
you can.
tends to not. Well, yeah, now you can, but
Yeah.
it tended to not cluster with the other ones and stayed back and
Yeah.
didn't move forward.
Yeah, it seemed. Yeah, it did kind of. It wasn't as forward aggressive. Yeah, and that's what all war is about. Is some asshole tells some other sucker to go get killed for their stupid fight. It's not bad. Look at that face. Oh. Nice. You can tell I'm even getting into the habit of healing immediately after a battle. So that one was cool. Got a couple videos that look to be the same. Just killing it. Yeah, we don't want that. Oh yeah, this is the part. So now that I know that they're dead, I knew that I had to do something to prevent future hunters from having to face the same difficulty I face. So I got out my can of Monsanto sponsored pesticide, and we had at it. We just went around and made sure. But you know what? That first pesticide wasn't working, so we switched it to something a little more. This alters the DNA of all the bugs on the plants, and then they reproduce and they all turn into dead bugs eventually. So
The best use of Quicksilver I've ever seen.
Doing the take that camera. So that was fun. So here we go. Oh yeah, this is where I learned that there's actually something. What? And I magically didn't go over the edge because I went at it at an angle. So yeah, you find these other different ways of threading different world maps to other areas.
Yeah, so now you're in the upper part of an area that you've already been to. Now, is that the area below? Is that where you fought Vicar Amelia?
Yeah.
But this is the nightmare version of that?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Because there's like this room is in this game like 3 times in different versions. I don't know. So, all right. Let's do a few more. Just a couple more. Yeah, we got two more bigger ones, and then we will call it a day.
All right.
So probably like 20 minutes. We'll see. I think this is up in a similar area. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. So I call up some help. I don't remember who this is. Takes a little bit for the person to load up. This is not a human. This will be an NPC. Guy was just watching Judge Mathis, having a nice afternoon. Menzies scholar Damien has arrived. So he's got a strange helmet. Very uncomfortable. Oh, I skipped.
I like to think of him as Nicolas Cage. Now, he does have that interesting shield on that limits the damage you can take from magic, or
right.
I guess if you want to call it magic.
Sure. Arcane or whatever.
Yeah.
So this one goes on for a while, so we're not going to sit here and watch the entire fight, but we'll watch the beginning and then fast forward and see if anything catches our eye.
Now, this boss is kind of interesting because behind it is the corpse of Rom the Vacuous Spider.
Oh, yeah. He's got macaroni noodles on his head. Yeah, that big pile in the distance is... So we have a nice little dynamic here where he keeps him busy, just like the other ones. Big swing and a miss. Turning the sound off. Fast forward. Yeah. Oh, actually, let's watch that. So this is watch our fella on the right launches an arcane attack. Boom. That's fun.
Yeah, I don't know how effective it is against this kind of a target, but
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I thought it made.
Any damage is good damage.
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't even. I just think how pretty it was. Yeah. So now we're going triple speed. Actually,
and one of the most important things about a fight like that is that you always want to get the enemy target to switch targets between you and the opponent, or else they will, not opponent, but the companion, or else the boss will kill your companion so quickly that you'll lose the benefit of the distraction.
Yeah, you're just trading distraction duty to keep your friend alive and give them a chance to heal. Those really are like macaronis, aren't they? They really do have noodle.
Yeah, I think this might be a true old one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
That's horrifying. Ugh. Nasty. So let's see. It's
like a sea anemone.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it kind of does.
It's got like all these aquatic symbols on it: the tentacles, the sliminess,
the eyes.
Yeah.
It's in a moisture. Oh, actually, here we got it rated fine. Let's see. All right, so watch.
Your health went boom.
Watch my health as the fine comes in. It just goes straight up as I was pressing to heal myself.
So right before you healed yourself, your health went to full.
Yeah. So. Boom. And then I stab myself in the leg and heal myself. That's okay. That's just how it is.
So your companion is going pretty heavy on the magic at the moment.
Yeah. So when you usually get bad guys to 50%, they'll switch into a different mode. There's different like triggers, like it's like 60 or whatever their like health.
Sometimes they assume a new physical appearance and form.
Right.
Other times it's just a different move set. Sometimes it's both.
Yeah, exactly.
And some bosses have 3 phases.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, some of these were pretty tough. All right, let's watch our friend die real quick, just to get the feeling for the moment. I don't think I was doing much good with. He heals, and then takes a couple of hard whacks. No! Now I've got to finish him off without any help. Can he do it? We'll see. Got 5 bullets left. Somehow I didn't get injured there. That was kind of miraculous.
Yeah.
But I managed to get a couple of good licks in. So a huge part of this game is getting comfortable being right next to their attack. These bosses are so big, they have such a presence. You have this instinct to run and to stay distant. It doesn't feel safe to be close to them, but you're often safer just next to them, like on their edges, like stick to their hip, basically. Like don't be in front of them. You can behind is usually okay, sort of, but like stay just off to the side of them. But it takes a lot of like overcoming your natural impulse, which is to want to be further away.
Yeah. And dodging towards an enemy is something you have to get used to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well said. Okay, so I just used my my bullet regenerator, which is takes up health and then gives you five bullets. And then you got to heal. So basically it costs you a blood vial and you have to risk being injured. So 3 bullets in a row did not contact because I was too far away. I'm not very good at this game. Boom! The strategy worked.
I wonder what this one dropped in terms of
There it is.
loot.
The great A's.
Well, no, in terms of like cold blood,
Oh,
if it did at all.
it should have, didn't it? It would have been there.
Maybe it didn't.
Yeah. No, it did. Watch. It's like 29,000. 28. Yeah. 28.
Yeah, you didn't get any cold blood for that one.
Oh, cold bloods, but I got souls up here.
Oh, yeah. You always get echoes. Yeah.
Yeah, echoes. I see what you're saying. Oh, you mean is it kin or is it non?
Yeah, that's what I was going for, to see
I
if it
understand.
was like, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So the next 2 videos are going to be just clips of that being beaten. One more boss fight, or do we call it a day? Yeah, we've got a fun. This is a good one to end on, actually. Cool. I was going to end it, but this one actually I think is a good finishing point. So this is okay. Does this record look familiar to you, James? Already?
Oh, this is a legendary boss. In terms of the bosses of the game, this is the boss of the DLC specifically, but it is a great one.
Okay. Let's have at it with this great one here. So we've got a buddy, Valter, Master of the League.
Yeah. But this is one of the original hunters, the one that formed the Healing Church, who has not turned himself, but he has manifested into this hideous creature that is like part horse on the back and in the face and part wolf almost, but it's a terribly tragic story of what he became from starting from noble means.
All right. Okay.
And
cool.
the entire level that leads up to it is a river of blood that was created from him massacring people in his lair.
That's all these bodies and everything in the corner. Yeah, look at the design of this poor fella. One arm is like all the way up on his back, sticking up all nuts.
And his secondary phase reveals one of the most famous weapons of all of the Dark Souls canon, which will be visible soon.
Yeah, that's the part that I thought would be interesting. Why it's a good one to end on. Mm-hmm. Does it jump up in the air and all you can do is run away? Vomit, Master Valor, or whatever, is kicking his ass, staying focused.
Yeah, this is a boss that is very easy to die to.
Yes, I think it took a bunch of tries, for sure. There's the face.
And you know it's a serious boss when it has dialogue
Right.
and a cutscene in between the fights.
Yes. I like the swipey animation of its claws when it swings. I was gonna go back to that, but we'll try to catch it again next time he does one. Okay, going back to audio. There. See the lines around it? That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I tend to take on the role of proctologist during these battles. Got to get behind him and do your best. Okay, so he's getting to 50% health. This is a, a triggering point here. Just let it keep playing. Couple of good whacks. Uh-oh. We won. He's dead.
You were at my side all along. My true mentor, my guiding moonlight.
So it's the Great Sword of Moonlight,
Okay.
which does exist in Demon Souls, and I believe the other Dark Souls games, but I can't confirm that because I haven't played any but 3.
All right, sorry, your volume was a little high for that one. I have to. I'm mixing your volume into the game, so I had it cranked up there for a second. Anyway, yeah, that's what is. So this Moonlight is. What else do you know about it? You see it in all sorts of stuff. This
It's
is like
a fairly
major part of the
famous
game.
weapon throughout the Souls series. The most I can speak to it personally is that I have friends who play the Souls games, and they speak very highly of that sword,
Nice.
saying that it's the fans' demand to see it in every Souls game. In Demon Souls, I actually found it, and it is a faith-based weapon that cuts through all shields because it's made out of moonlight. So it's a really interesting weapon. It's something that anyone who is even lightly familiar with the Souls series will recognize.
Okay, all right. I mean, I kind of recognized it vaguely. I remember there's a big butterfly in the first game. Yeah, so kind of cool though. This animation, they start to get you with this humanity of these monsters a little bit. He's got the nose, the eyeball. He's sort of sad and looking around. It's like me when my airbag got stolen out of my Prius. So this is a pretty exciting time because most of the fights don't have a cutscene in the middle, let alone one that references or not just references, clearly highlights a beloved treasured item within the Souls universe. Nice. Okay, so we'll keep fighting.
Yeah, and that's when you know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
he was hard before, but holy cow.
Yeah, the first time I was like, all right, wait a minute. Oh, wait, he wasn't dead? And then I went, oh, shit, he's got a sword now.
It means you got to learn a whole new attack pattern.
Yeah.
And if you want to practice it, you've got to fight your way up to this point again to begin learning again. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah. Ooh. Not when you got a pal around to take the whack for you. Watch that. Right there. Thanks, buddy.
Yikes.
Hey, what else are friends for? Jesus. Okay, so right now, if you just watch the bone ash up here, this is an item I'm using. I'm backing up slightly. I use one right here, and you see my character reaches to his left. He's basically applying his gun. He's upgrading the gun. The bullet is now becoming much more powerful. That's why I'm able to do pretty good damage on this shot. 489 was the hit there, so that was would have been a lot less if I hadn't done it. And those things are kind of expensive to replace.
Here comes an AOE.
There you go. Nice.
You know, that probably was a visceral moment.
Yes. I'm gonna back up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, motherfucking goddamn it! Premiere jumps to the beginning. What the fuck? Sorry. It's so irritating.
One thing I didn't mention, the music during that fight is amazing as well.
Yeah. Agreed.
Especially during the second phase.
Oh, no, I can't find it. Here it is. Ugh, it's so irritating. All right, well, we're missing. It's not exactly where we were, but. Yeah, mostly the guy's taking a lot of the damage and doing most of it. Just watching this, it's pretty clear that the victory was impossible without the Confederates' help. That was there it is. Little prostrate check, and he's dead. So Ludwig the Holy Blade, we get Vermin and Guidance. So Vermin is something that you can use back at the guy who we way earlier was the Legion fella who was like tries to get you to hunt vermins, but he wants you to do it with buddies. I don't know. We'll probably be able to explain that better next time.
Yep.
James, what you got to say?
No, I just offer if anyone ever wants to upload good soundtracks and OSTs from games to YouTube and not get hit with copyright claims, the best way to do it is to do what you did here and just pepper in combat sounds with it. So if you just throw in a then you won't get hit.
That's the only way I can get the Shawshank Redemption soundtrack. So I had to customize it myself with violent, bloody fighting. So I took a UFC match and I overlaid it over the Shawshank Redemption OST, and that's how it works. Yes, that's funny. Yeah, so we got him, and then I wave bye to my pal. See, watch, he disappears, and I go, bye-bye. I get a little quicker with this whole picking those out. See ya. All right, beautiful. So James, listen, let's actually maybe I'll put this on the screen so the audience can see it as well. If this is gonna work. I'll have to edit that to make it fit, but we've got a whole bunch to go. We've already done what's left of this blue line, and what's left for us is what's right of the blue line. So there's a lot more to do. We'll be back, and then beyond, there's even more to record because we'll probably record some stuff from the very end. So maybe we won't get around to the second one until we have the full ending. Beyond that, though, James, anything you want to mention or say about the quarantine? We live in our own dark Souls world, sort of, in a sense, feels like.
No, not really. Things haven't really changed much since what is it, the 20th?
I imagine we have a few listeners that care about your health update. We mentioned that in the last episode that you're in need of pretty substantial open heart surgery.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It's been delayed because of COVID. I mean, I understand. I'm not gonna get up there and act like I need to get him right away. It is something I need to have done.
Yeah.
But as long as there's people suffering and dying of COVID and the ICU rooms are at max capacity and healthcare workers are struggling to maintain the surge of people who are afflicted by this horrible virus, it's hard for me to justify any sort of anger over the delay given the circumstances we're all living in right now. So
of course
it's disappointing that I haven't had it done yet, but I have to temper that with the reality at play.
Yeah, the reality is you'd be an idiot for wanting to insist to be in a hospital right now, like to have a chainsaw taken to your chest and opened up into a giant open wound, and and then have to stay in the hospital for whatever 4, 5, 6 is. It's like a week, right, before they let you out.
It's yeah, something they estimate about 5 days just
Yeah,
to observe. Just got to make sure that you're back in rhythm, and they have
it's
to collapse
huge.
your
Yeah,
lungs, and they take you. You're obviously they stop your heart and put you on a machine for it, and then they
yeah.
attempt to repair it. And if they can't repair it, they replace the valve.
Can I go
It
in?
is,
Can I be the guy who squeezes your heart to keep it pumping? Tank,
yes.
hold it, squeeze it, blood count. Just imagine like a Dave Matthews song and just stick to the beat.
Yeah, just think of the "Staying Alive" song. Yeah, you gotta give compressions.
Yeah, your heart beats really fast. You're right. Yeah, that's a healthy attitude to not be angry. Especially not the folks who are in the hospital or the workers in the hospitals. I have so much respect for the hospital folks. Why am I saying folks? Am I a fucking politician? I have so much respect for those people. The amount of difficulty it is, anybody who has to wear a mask and stand on their feet, to be honest, cashiers, anybody in working all the time who aren't
Jason,
privileged enough to be home. Jason, especially Jason.
always on his feet, never takes it off.
Yes, exactly. The Ocarina of Time guy,
Yeah,
Link,
and he's
or
always
whatever he's called.
surgically opening incisions on people.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, he
Uh,
he is the hero.
Uh-huh. No doubt. So the workers, but everybody with it. But I do think if there's anger to be pointed at anybody, and I don't suggest being angry, because I think anger is an emotion that leads to hate, which leads to fear, which leads to
The dark side.
the dark side. Exactly. Thank you.
Yes, the path to the dark
That
side.
leads to breadsticks. And anyway, but the politicians fucked this up. Most of these people did not have to die. We could have done this differently. I'm not going to get into the politics of all that right now, but there is room for anger. It belongs to the people who have the power. That's usually how it should go in most
Yeah,
situations. So yeah,
and then-
I definitely, I'm glad you're not angry, but like
Well, I
you
mean-
could have had your surgery by now, and this country would have saved about 300,000 people or more had we handled this the way some other countries have handled it.
The only
it's
thing
a
I
nightmare.
can't get annoyed by is the timing of the surges are not coincidence. So,
Right.
like a week or two after Thanksgiving, a big surge. Well, that's because people didn't abide by the guidelines and they went out and they gathered anyway.
Yeah.
A week or two after Christmas, or a week or two after New Year, another surge, another surge. These are not coincidences.
Yes.
People are traveling and people are not taking this thing seriously, which causes people who do need care not to be able to get care because they're taking care of the emergency of the people getting themselves infected.
Totally.
Not to say everyone who's infected deserved it. Obviously, nobody deserves it, but people put themselves at risk needlessly because they can't, what's the best way of putting it? They can't think of the greater good beyond themselves.
Well, America and Western cultures compared to like Asian and Eastern cultures tend to be more individualistic. America is particularly individualistic. The notion of liberty and personal responsibility and freedom, all that sort of is culturally conditioned to make you be kind of a selfish consumer, meaning like you sort of only think of what can I get from something, how can I make something benefit me, but it also prevents you from thinking collectively. That's one of the factors. There's a lot of obviously complicated factors, but it comes down to leadership in most of these cases. And when I say angry at the politicians, I don't mean just the Republicans who've been running the country, the Trumps and them. They of course deserve a tremendous amount of animosity for letting this many people die. 620,000 people died in the Civil War in America. 400,000 have died from this plague since February. So we're like, this is an enormous calamity. Let's be honest. This is a fucking crime against humanity, in my opinion. And I am the person who gets to decide that. But I'm saying not just the Republicans, but all the Democrat blue states, the red states, the governors, the mayors. LA's mayor has fucked this up. He's a Garcetti. He's a Democrat. Bill de Blasio and Governor Cuomo in New York fucked it all up. Like, there's blame to go around at everybody. So it's not just it's not a red state, blue state thing. It's a leadership vacuum, because what we should have done is pay people to stay home. Shut down every fucking business. Shut it all down as hard as you can, and then give people money so they can afford their bills and their rent, and maybe even pay off a little bit of debt. Would that have been such a tragedy if someone got a little money that they didn't, quote unquote, deserve? So we, instead of doing a true lockdown where you literally say, here's $2,000 a month, so that you do not go home, and then we can reopen everything properly in 4 months, in 5 months. Instead you have this piecemeal, oh, well, this guy decided to lock down over that state, that guy decided to lock down in that state, they're going to have travel restrictions over there. It's this huge, uncoordinated, sloppy mess. And that's part of the commotion of it all too. And so I can't necessarily blame people for running around and going to parties and going out and gathering, because the information streams are so confusing. People don't get the same information. We haven't had cohesive leadership this entire time. So of course it's going to be bad here. There's a lot of other factors. I'm starting to do my other podcast about politics and stuff. It gets, I don't mean to be, but because I totally share your sentiment. Like, yeah, you're not angry at anybody. I mean, anger's tough in general. I've had a lot of anger myself. I don't recommend it. So anyway, James, let me speak. Are you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
This is what weekends are like around here. I just start rambling and yelling about politics. James is so polite. I'm speaking for the audience. Is that they're pulling for you? I'm sure we'll get some nice messages, and I always pass them along from people when they do share nice messages. So
that is super cool of people.
Hang in there, buddy.
I appreciate that.
Yep. I want to get it over with and get it done right, and don't do nothing to screw it up. Oh, dude, I was wondering, are you gonna have to go through all the same prep tests again?
I'm really, really hoping.
I bet you will,
because they have not been. I mean, I'll put it this way: the tests themselves are very, very, very unpleasant, but they would have been ungodly unbearable were it not for the professionalism, the bedside manner, and just the pure greatness of the hospital staff that did them.
Yeah,
I cannot even begin to tell you how amazing each and every one of those people were.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
sure.
I'd had an angiogram and a TEE done, neither of which I would wish on my worst enemy.
I know. It occurred to me that we were doing that to get you ready and then check off their list before they can do the big one. And then it's like, well, is there a timer? Like, is that only good for, like, if I go get my gonorrhea checked out and then they cut it off, it's like the gonorrhea is going to grow back in like 6 months.
Yeah.
I got gonorrhea, everybody. On my tiny penis. Okay. Sorry. All right. Well, 60 Minutes is almost on CBS, so we got to get going here on Sunday. I'm going to try to publish this up, probably get it up on Monday, and then that'll be good. It's good to do some SuckProfessoring finally. Been a little while. James, goodbye.
Yep.
Thank you
I am still here.
Thank you for all your insight and your amazing knowledge and your ability to recall information. And we'll be back with the rest of this series, guys. We're looking forward to seeing everybody again. And check out the links in the description for my woodworking videos and my political podcasting. I'm a lefty and one of those guys. You're going to probably love it or hate it, or just think I'm a delusional maniac. That's usually where I end up when I start thinking about it. Follow James on Twitter at VideoJamesSP. He tweets all the time. He is the Donald Trump of Twitter. I'm sure he doesn't even know his password.
Nope.
That's fine. It's okay. But all good. I hope everybody's safe. I hope people are keeping well and, staying out of each other's disgusting breathing and everything else. And maybe by 2022, we'll be able to finally bang strangers without killing their grandparents again. Wouldn't that be nice? James, anything you want to say?
Not much. I think that pretty much covers everything.
All right.
I'm at a loss.
That's fine. You don't have to have something to say.
I mean, how am I supposed to follow? How do you bang strangers without killing their grandparents?
That's true.
It's a pretty high bar you set.
Is Westworld coming out this year?
I hope not.
How about Game of Thrones season 9? Arya does parkour kills.
Oh God. It's shocking how much time has passed already since season 8 finished and how angry I still am.
I know. I actually realize I'm talking to a guy with a severe heart condition. I probably shouldn't mention season 8 of Game of Thrones. I would hate to explain that to the judge. Cool. Okay. Awesome, everybody. We look forward to seeing you soon. Seeing you again. And James, you're great. Let's go get McDonald's or something.
All right.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye. Bye, James.
Oh, later.
Bloodbourne.